Iran. This as the Pentagon moves more than military assets into the region in a show of support for Israel.
Because the U.S. says it's trying to do all it can to prepare for whatever inevitability Iran may try to take. We know that we've seen a fighter jet squadron as well as additional missile defense cruisers, and officials say it's possible they could send even more.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When it's going to cool off, 89 degrees, mostly sunny downtown. It feels closer to 100 if you're out and walking in the circle. The radar's clear. Low is 73 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox from Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The hot start to the week won't stick around.
Tuesday, our highs are going to be in the low 90s, but on Wednesday, we're looking for highs in the upper 70s to around 80.
Earl Breon with the National Weather Service says severe weather's possible Tuesday, but that should be it for rain this week. Indiana Task Force 1 will be helping out with Hurricane Debbie response efforts. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The men and women are part of an elite unit called Indiana Task Force 1, which was activated on Sunday afternoon and left within 3 hours. The team is headed to South Carolina to prepare for deployment to areas affected by Hurricane Debbie. Debbie hit Florida's Gulf Coast as a Cat 1 hurricane. Indiana Task Force 1 specializes in water rescues and responding to collapsed buildings. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former IU student Yahoo Sadeh tells Wish TV he wants Vice President Kamala Harris to get in touch with Rashina Tlaib.
She's the representative in a very key swing state, which is Michigan. And so I would just like to see Kamala and the Democratic Party actually try to come to my vote, appease for it, and get it.
Sada is the co-founder and former president of the Middle Eastern Student Association at IU Indianapolis. He believes a recent change in IU's new protest policy, you might have heard of it, it limits when protests can happen on campus, is a violation of free speech. In the last few days that the market has been open have not been pretty. Here's John Herrick.
Business owners in Indiana and nationwide have been worrying about a recession, and the tanking Wall Street numbers have done little to help that.
There was certainly that concern has been out there in the business community for some time, seemed to have eased these last several months, but that those recession fears are back, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business tells WIBC's Tony Katz, as for how investment plans for Hoosier businesses might be affected, it's too early to tell. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Plenty of folks from Indiana are leaving the Paris Olympics with some hardware. There's been over 10 so far. Cole Hocker is hoping to use his skills on the track to join that list.
I think everyone that watches and competes in the sport knows that the dog that has nothing to lose usually runs pretty well. And
Hocker placed third in the 1,500-meter semifinal Sunday. The final is Tuesday. That distance, just shy of a mile. If you're wondering, Hocker covered it in about 3.5 minutes. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
To celebrate Team USA going for gold, Xfinity is offering a gold medal deal. Now through August 11th, get our best offer yet with 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one line of unlimited mobile for just $35 a month for a year and a free 5G phone. And the action doesn't stop there. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming by adding the new Xfinity Stream Saver with Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $15 a month. Don't wait. When the Olympic Games end, so does this deal. Go to Xfinity.com/Team USA. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA.
Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment tax and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply to internet and mobile. Stream Saver price subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Free 5G phone requires eligible trade-in. Select models only.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Looking at northbound 37 stopped. Epler Avenue up to 465 because of construction. And then inbound 65, a little bit slow right now. 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention, Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. Call Mr. Quick. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Hazy, hot, and humid for the day today. We'll see highs near 91, but feels like temperatures into the upper 90s, right around the triple digits. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Well, Hammer, the Wall Street looks like it's crumbling. Boy, I got to tell you, the stocks are tumbling around the world. The border's wide open. Fentanyl flowing through the southern border. We have tension in the Middle East. It's a veritable tinderbox. Am I missing anything here on this Monday afternoon here?
I mean, you could mention that real wages are not keeping up with inflation, but
there's that. Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to be Debbie Downer. There's enough bad stuff happening already. Other than that, things are great, though.
Well, wonderful. Are they?
Sign me up for 4 more years of the Cackling Queen.
Joe Biden's cackling co-pilot, Kamala Harris, crashed in Kamala. The stock market is crashing.
So stocks around the world crumbling, a number of different reasons why. Here is ABC News breaking it down.
Markets around the globe this morning are selling off. Overnight, Japan's Nikkei plunged 12%, its worst day since the 1987 Black Monday crash. Here, investors are responding to that Friday jobs market report on the jobs market, showing that employers added just 114,000 jobs in July, and that was well below the 185,000 forecast. The unemployment rate jumped to 4.3%, which is still very low, but it shows joblessness has increased more than 0.5% since January, and it's something that it just doesn't usually happen in a healthy economy. A rise like that is historically a sign that a recession is imminent.
Recession is imminent, Nige.
Because I remember just a few weeks ago that Joe Biden said he cured the economy.
And the environment. I don't even know what that means.
and he's got a cure for cancer.
Yes.
We're still waiting on that.
He's got the antidote somewhere locked up in his medicine cabinet. He's just waiting for the right moment. But if this jobs report on Friday is really the straw that broke the camel's back here, has anybody been paying attention? Because these job reports, they've been awful for a while. And I'm talking about the revisions. Don't fall for the headlines. And we've been saying this for a while. This is the oldest trick in the Biden playbook. When the jobs report is out, they inflate the number, they act like it's some huge deal, and then a month later, they've got all these revisions that takes away everything that they talked about. Anybody that's been paying attention knows the jobs report with revisions, and they've all been down, has been crap for a long time. I guess I just don't know why everybody was so caught off guard by this. You had to have seen it coming.
Stock market's crashing, according to Donald Trump. This is from his Truth Social. Stock market's crashing. I told you so. Kamala doesn't have a clue. Biden is sound asleep. All caused by inept U.S. leadership. I would pretend to agree with that statement. A lot of things Donald Trump has been doing lately I don't agree with, but that one probably has something to do with it. There is a political nature going on here with what's happening in the stock market. Donald Trump up in the polls a few weeks ago was against Joe Biden. Now that we realize that Donald Trump has a new opponent, that's Kamala Harris, things have kind of gotten sideways a little bit. I bet that has something to do with it. Not to mention all the hellfire crap going on in the Mideast right now with it, and what Israel is calling, they're preparing for an imminent attack from Iran.
But something about that post that he put on Truth Social is 100% accurate. I told you so. Let's go back 4 years ago. Sitting down doing an interview. This is Donald Trump.
But if Biden gets in, the market will crash.
If Biden gets in, the market will crash. He said that 4 years ago, and lo and behold, here we are today. So do everyone a favor and do not look at your 401k today. Nothing good's going to come from that. You will not like what you see if you look at your 401k today. Just Go have a beer. Go to the convenience store. Maybe grab some zebra cakes. Find some sort of other activity than looking at your 401k today.
My mouse is hovering around the link.
Don't do it.
Hovering around the link, man.
Don't you do it.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it right now.
Speaking of Kamala Harris, it sounds like tomorrow she will officially roll out her running mate. All signs are kind of pointing to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Now, when I say all signs are pointing, the idiotic mayor of Philadelphia, Sherelle Parker, accidentally put out this video that was produced by the Biden and Harris team celebrating Josh Shapiro as the running mate. It wasn't supposed to go out until later.
Wait a minute.
But they hit send, and it says, quote, "Proud to be back with so many leaders who are supporting Harris for president and Governor Josh Shapiro for VP. And oh, by the way, the big rollout of the vice presidential pick happens to be in Pennsylvania tomorrow."
I think all signs point to Shapiro, although it'll probably piss off a lot of the hardcore left-wing progressives, pro-Hamas Congress people, anti-Israel people. I mean, Shapiro being a Jew.
Right.
That's probably not going to go over well with that extreme contingent.
This is having your cake and eating it too. This is exactly what Kamala Harris is going to do. She's going to pick Josh Shapiro, a man of Jewish faith, and say, "We stand with our ally Israel." And then at the same time, she will turn around and claim that Israel does not have the right to defend itself, and they're the ones creating a genocide. She's going to do both. She's going to flip-flop because that's what she's doing right now. People in the media are going to carry her water when she does that. So do not be gaslighted. It's coming.
Something other. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Something other kind of caught my eye. This is very interesting for Politico. Senator John Fetterman said she should not pick Shapiro, and here's why. And Fetterman, of course, Pennsylvania senator, concerned about the possibility that Harris might choose the state's governor as a running mate. His advisors have privately relayed those worries to Harris's team because he is too ambitious. He believes that Shapiro is excessively focused on his own personal ambitions. So,
fancy talk for he's smarter than she is. Now, to be fair,
exactly right.
To be fair, this little yellow rubber duck that I found in studio is smarter than Kamala Harris is. I have no idea what this is, but I've never heard this duck give me a lecture on the passage of time. I can promise you that. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, Nige, how about this one? Now, I like this one. 48 years ago, on this date in 1976, I wasn't even born yet, but the NBA merged with the franchises from the ABA that they thought could thrive. The Indiana Pacers, the Denver Nuggets, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Brooklyn Nets. They were the ones that all got the call up from the ABA to then go into the NBA.
They even made a movie about it, Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro. The ABA, man, again, it was a little before my time, but if you just study it up a little bit, they were the ones that brought the fun to the game. You know, the slam dunk contest, the three-point line. I wish they'd bring back the red, white, and blue ball. There's a lot of awesome stuff that the ABA brought to the table. And the NBA, they've stolen a little bit, but still, come on, give us the red, white, and blue ball. Bring it back. They should have done it for the All-Star game here in Indy this past year. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Yeah, we're looking at inbound 65 slow, 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 a little slow from west into the south split. And a reminder that 465 on the southeast side is open. Eastbound 465 from 65 to I-70. Very exciting. That 9-mile stretch is good to go after being closed for several weeks. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for expert advice. Thousands of in-stock appliance options, fast delivery, and professional installation. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The Flint, Michigan tropics. Big part of that ABA-NBA merger back in the 70s.
Yes, absolutely. Man, we are locked and loaded. We got some great guests today who can break down what's really happening with your money. Coming up at 4:06 today, Monica Crowley longtime financial guru. You've probably seen her on Fox News over the years. She's going to break this down. And then after 5 at 5:06, one of our favorites, John Carney from
Breitbart finance and economics editor. He's just an expert in both finance and economics, and he has a way of breaking things down that we'd like. You and I could like each chug a 12-pack of beer and still try to still understand him after after we're done, right? You know what I mean?
100%.
So it concerns you. It's a big deal. Maybe not as big a deal as people are making it out to be, but we'll see.
The experts are coming. So if this kind of stuff is still a little confusing to you, our guests today are going to break it all down. Plus, we got Mock, we got the gun guy. Do not go anywhere. We are going to have a good time. Right now, hot, humid, 89 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Back to school season arrives in Indiana. It's time to focus on school supplies and those home projects you've been delaying. Don't worry. With Moss Roofing, you're not alone. They're here to help with your roofing and siding, making sure your home is a safe place for math homework each and every day. Choose Moss Roofing to transform your home's exterior with top-notch James Hardy siding, protecting your home from those Indiana storms and enhancing your curb appeal. Their inspections are always free, and they'll even give you a 3D design link so you can visualize the makeover before they even begin. Talk to Moss Roofing today, a second-generation family business based right here in Central Indiana. For a job done right every single time. I love when they do that. MossRoofing.com, 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, MossRoofing.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Franciscan Health has been your hometown leader in heart care for decades. Recognized in 2024 by Healthgrades as the #1 hospital in Indiana for cardiology, and by CareChex as #1 in Indiana for major cardiac surgery and interventional coronary care, we're proud to keep the hearts of our community beating strong. Franciscan Health, where our greatest reward has always been serving you. Take a heart risk assessment or schedule an appointment at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When it comes to your well, preventive maintenance is the key to reliable water. Right now, C&J is offering a 6-point annual inspection for only $250, so you will know if your well and water are in great shape for the coming months. C&J will check the flow, the switch, the pump, and the pressure tank, and then they'll check for leaks and bacteria too. If it's been a while since you've checked the well, just do it. You can also save 10% on any necessary repairs. C&J Well Company, they're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-852-WELL.
Well, we're coming to your city. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, man, big thanks to Guy Relford for filling in for Hammer as we broadcast live from the Indiana State Fairgrounds opening day at the Tap Room on Friday. You and I will be there again, though, this Friday.
We got the whole band together again, baby.
Band will be back together this Friday, Tap Room for Beer Sample Friday and a whole bunch of fun. So make plans to meet us at the State Fair. the tap room. Basically, it's like right directly across from the Coliseum in the Midway there. I mean, directly across next to the stage.
Yes.
Or next to the bleachers or whatever.
The grandstands.
Yeah, the grandstands, yes.
Yeah. So come on out this Friday. I'm looking at the weather forecast here.
It's supposed to cool down, isn't it?
Supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah.
A high of 83
there you
and
go.
sunny.
There you go.
So this needs to be your day out at the Indiana State Fair if you haven't already been. If you have been, hell, come back out. Nigel and I in the tap room this Friday, starting at 3 for Beer Sample Friday.
And I appreciate all the people that listen to the program. There were some people that stayed out there for the entire show that were buying us beers. I'm like, first of all, thank you for the beers. You don't need to buy us beers. We should be buying you beers. I better be careful. I say
You're going to have 50 people show up. Hell, Nigel said he was buying.
You know what? Let's stick with you buying us beers. All right.
How was that pickle beer that they had?
That was what we did for Beer Sample Friday. That was one of the beers from Sun King. I liked it. I mean, actually, let me put it this way. If you like pickles, you'll like the pickle beer from Sun King.
Right.
Very, as I believe Guy Relford put it, pickly. So that was what we tried. That was what we tried for Beer Sample Friday at the State Fairgrounds there at the tap. See, the tap room's great too because it was pretty hot Friday and it's all air conditioned and you can get more than just beer in there. You can buy sodas or water for the kids. Anybody can come in. It's all ages, and it's just kind of a nice place to take a break and chill for a minute.
This Friday, it's happening on the show. Maybe we'll put it on Facebook Live. I don't know. But there's going to be a deep fried Oreo eating contest between myself and Chris Hammer, who will be working in the promotions department.
He was there Friday. Did a great job with him and his buddy, the other promotions guy there.
We're going to be having some trash talk through the week. Place your bets right now.
Oh, I can't wait.
Who you got? Old Hammer, Young Hammer, deep fried Oreo eating contest. It's happening this Friday when we broadcast at the fair. Producer Allison, let's play a round of Is It Racist?
It's time to play. Is it racist?
Now, for those who may be new to the Hammer and Nigel show, here to explain the rules is AOC.
Is it racist? Is something racist, yes or no?
All right, Nigel, a group of staff members at a South Carolina elementary school have been fired because of the T-shirt they wore. Now, keep in mind, it was Hispanic Heritage Day at the school, and multiple staff members wore Border Patrol T-shirts to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Day at the school. There was another image posted to the school's social media page that showed staff members wearing big sombreros and standing in front of a red brick wall that said Cantina. So, the superintendent released a statement, quote, "Today, this matter has been thoroughly investigated, and those who contributed to this event have been held accountable for their decision-making and actions. There is no room for anything of this nature in our schools, and I will not tolerate it in our school district." Multiple people lost their job.
Probably the Border Patrol shirts may have been over the line. I don't see how in any way, shape, or form somebody could get together and say, hey, let's wear our Border Patrol shirts to Hispanic Heritage Day to celebrate Hispanic heritage. We'll pretend like we're border agents.
See, I'm trying to be objective here, right? Like, there's nothing racist about working for Border Patrol. There's nothing racist about having a shirt that says that.
I understand.
Like, if somebody's listening right now and they got a job at Border Patrol tomorrow, I wouldn't inherently think that they're just a racist because of it. But if you're specifically wearing it, and the only time you wear it, and the only reason you bought it was for Hispanic Heritage Day around the kids, you got to read the room a little better, right?
Read the room. I don't have a problem with a cantina. Everybody wears sombreros at one time or another. That's celebrating the Hispanic. That's a Hispanic garb.
Hell,
the
Pato
sombrero.
O'Ward, who is Mexican, won an IndyCar race this past year, and he put a sombrero on when he was celebrating in Victory Lane. So maybe it's one of those things where he can do it and other people can't. I don't know. But I hate when people lose their jobs for this, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they were good teachers or not, but you got to read the room a little bit better. I love this. I can't love this enough. In a news cycle that's filled with negativity right now, border crossings, fentanyl, the stock market, the Chicago White Sox, having lost 20 straight games, brings joy to my cold, dark heart, Nige. 20 straight games. The White Sox, the last time they won a game, Donald Trump had not been shot yet. Let that sink in. They are the first Major League Baseball team since 1988 to lose 20 games in a row. Now, they also, earlier in the year, had a 14-game losing streak. And there's nothing that brings me joy as a Cubs fan. I've had a miserable season. We had high expectations. Last time I checked, they were fighting the Reds for last place in the division.
Yeah.
But seeing the White Sox lose 20 in a row, oh, that's so good.
I mean, I was going to say, Cubs aren't exactly the L.A. Dodgers in terms of a winning record.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean,
the Dodgers spend money, unlike the Chicago Cubs do. For whatever reason, the Ricketts family has decided, you people got one in 2016. Now we're going to keep all the money. But man, losing 20 straight Major League Baseball games, it's almost hard to do. Like sooner or later, one of your pitchers would just be dialed in.
God, I'm looking at the AL Central. I mean, nobody's even close to 87 losses. I mean, the Chicago White Sox, have 27 wins? The next closest is the Tigers at 53.
They've only got 27 wins. They've lost 20 in a row. Like, if this thing keeps going, the losing streak is going to rival how many wins they've got by the second or third week of August.
It's crazy.
This is amazing. And yes, I'm here for it.
All right.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, this is Phoebe, and at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot, knee, hip, and back pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet Arch Support System.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So, did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. Maybe that's the reason all the remedies you've tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet.
We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65. Learn more at goodfeet.com. Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free personalized fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome, helping people live pain-free 2 feet at a time.
Guys, if you're middle-aged and wonder why it seems harder to keep up, it may be low T. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Not just any TRT, not websites offering basic treatments and prices that sound too good to be true. See the provider specialists at Low T Center.
They offer advanced, personalized treatments with over a decade of experience. Start with a simple test and get results in about 25 minutes. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The numbers aren't great. Mostly sunny, 90 degrees downtown. Radar is completely clear. Check back in on that tomorrow. 73 your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. The decline of the stock market and the latest job numbers have many businesses in Indiana concerned about a recession.
We've seen major investment from a number of big-name companies in Indiana. How might those decisions, those plans be affected too early to tell, certainly now.
Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business told WIBC's Tony Katz this morning many business owners are trying to figure out the best approach for both long-term and short-term investments. 48 members of Indiana Task Force 1 are going to South Carolina as part of the response to Hurricane Debbie, which made landfall as a Category 1 today. Deployments like this typically last about 14 days, but Task Force 1 says they'll stay as long as they're needed. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis wants the Biden administration to impose the death penalty on 3 men accused of plotting 9/11.
Every year, we continue to lose men and women who sacrificed, heroes that ran into those buildings to save others, to 9/11 related illnesses.
Malliotakis wants the Biden administration to set a trial date for the men. Their plea deal was withdrawn by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. That deal would have prevented the men from the death penalty. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to share the stage with her running mates in Philly Tuesday at a campaign rally. She had spent the weekend interviewing potential candidates. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro is one of those. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg had his name thrown around in a few reports. He did meet with Harris over the weekend. It is hot today, so maybe grab a glass of water when you can, says Earl Breon with the National Weather Service.
Taking a little extra time with stuff, knowing where the cool spots are, making sure you stay hydrated.
Heat index values will be around 100 today and tomorrow. It is expected to cool down Wednesday. You could also get some storms Tuesday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
Hi, I'm Kay Diener. 34 years ago, my husband Bill and I joined TAB after hearing about its community involvement, service opportunities, and welcoming nature of the congregation. I have always liked volunteering and helping others, and at TAB, I found many ways to do both. Over the years, I've had the privilege of serving as a deacon, an elder, a tutor, Sunday school helper, member of the Media and Children's Ministries committees, as well as other areas when able. In so doing, I have witnessed the caring hearts of others who selflessly share their love of Christ and TAB. I'm Kay Diener, and I invite you to come to TAB and see for yourself.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
The traffic at 3:33. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison crash, Fall Creek Parkway, Delaware Street, just north of downtown. Also coming into downtown, southbound 65 stop and go from Meridian Penn back to 21st, and eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from Harding Street to the south split. North side eastbound 465 a little bit slow, Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Those west lines drag out of I-69 over to Allisonville. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road at North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Hazy, hot, and humid for the day today. We'll see highs near 91, but feels like temperatures into the upper 90s, right around the triple digits. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gunday with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Wilford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
The Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. The gun guy, Guy Rufford. He was a Second Amendment attorney, licensed firearms instructor, host of the Gun Guy Show Saturdays here on 93 WIBC. And my co-hosts for the fair broadcasts. Thank you for filling in for Hammer. We had a blast, didn't we, man?
Oh, man, I had so much fun. I was having a hard time believing I was actually getting paid to actually be down there. And
people were buying us beers and feeding us food.
People were buying us beers, and one beautiful young lady brought us by 2, I kid you not, blueberry cheesecake funnel cakes.
Oh, those were...
Oh, they were so good. They were unbelievable. We ended up giving most of them to the production crew, the promotions guys, including your young son, Chris Hammer, and but they were just unbelievably good. But the whole afternoon was just an absolute blast.
Well, thank you so much for filling in, man. I appreciate it.
I loved it.
Because there are some radio shows like the hosts have such egos that they always want to have horrible guest hosts because when they come back, they want everybody to be like, oh, the savior's back.
No, not this one.
Now, the way we see it, I'm getting the ratings points either way. If Guy Relford's spitting fire, I'm getting the credit for it.
Well, now, in fairness, I have to say on social media, specifically Twitter or X, whatever, I did have several comments that said, well, if Hammer wasn't there, it really wasn't, worth the effort to listen. Or attend.
Somebody said Nigel bores me. You a-hole! Sitting there doing a fun radio show and some idiot with 3 followers. This guy's boring me. What?
Sorry, I was bored in studio. I needed to do something.
It's Allison's burner account.
Whatever.
But literally, it was in response to me saying, man, I had so much fun. It was great to fill in. And this dude comes on and goes, it was not so much.
Welcome to
It's a humbling business sometime, for sure.
By the way, I got to thank my sponsor for Monday Gunday as Premier Arms in Brownsburg with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest. And PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or PremierArms.com.
Let's get into Indiana's Stand Your Ground law.
Yeah.
Not every state has a Stand Your Ground law. And the reason I say that is this story that you sent me regarding a knife, a train, and some chaos. Whoa. Take me through the story, Guy.
Yeah, get this. I mean, actually, a follower of mine, and thank you for this, sent this to me on Twitter, and it's a Supreme Court of Minnesota decision. And listen to this. These facts are just bizarre. There's a guy waiting on a train, minding his own business on a platform in Minnesota. And so there's 3 other people that are all together that somehow take issue with him. And one of these other people pulls out a knife and threatens this guy and literally says, come over here out of the camera view. I'm going to slit your throat.
So he's standing there waiting for a train, and now he's being threatened by some lunatic with a knife.
He's being threatened by some lunatic with a knife who specifically threatens to slit his throat. And this guy, now, I'm not quite sure I understand his choice of self-defense weapons, pulls out a machete at this point.
Was it Crocodile Dundee?
Apparently,
I saw this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a knife.
Yeah, this is a knife. And says no, and brandishes this machete and says, you people all get away from me. Guess who went to jail in that scenario?
Machete guy.
Machete guy.
The guy that was trying to defend his life?
He was trying to defend his life. Somebody who specifically threatened to slit his throat. But you know why? The why is the thing that got me. And it's very clear in this opinion. And I posted it. But the why was because he did not attempt to run away first. Because in Minnesota, if you have an opportunity to run away, even from someone who's threatening you with deadly harm, who's got a deadly weapon threatening to kill you, slit your throat in this instance, in Minnesota, you have to run away first before you can even threaten that other person with deadly injury, deadly harm yourself. And that's the point that and that's when I sent it to you, Hammer, was that both you guys, but isn't in Indiana, thank God our legislatures had the foresight to do this. They specifically built into our self-defense statute what's called a stand your ground provision, which is if you're otherwise justified in defending your life because you're preventing serious bodily injury, you're preventing a forcible felony, you're preventing an unlawful entry into your home, then in Indiana, it says specifically you have no duty to retreat. And that takes away that legal argument that, oh, no, you can't defend yourself because you had the opportunity to run away, but you didn't.
What if you're not a fast runner?
Well, yeah, right.
And what constitutes as a run? Can I take 2 steps and say, well, I tried?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys.
Stupid.
But, I mean, I'm 20 years older than you guys, but my 40 speed has dropped a little bit.
I promise you're the fastest guy in this room, Guy. I'm going to say that right now. You got a couple years on us, but you're winning the 100-meter dash of the people in this studio right now.
I'm not sure. I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, the point is completely valid. But you had an opportunity to run away, but you didn't. Therefore, you weren't allowed to defend yourself. People who attack stand your ground laws, I'll give them this as Exhibit A every single time. That's why we have this law. That's why it's ridiculous. This guy's going to prison on a felony because he simply pulled a weapon out and said, no, you're not going to slit my throat after he was threatened.
So let me put this in Indiana situations here.
Yep.
Number of years ago, there was a guy on the street that had a weapon. Remember the fat guy in the Zubaz pants? He had a weapon, and somebody was driving, and he was blocking traffic and pointing his gun at that guy. Does that fall into stand your ground if you're the person in that car that decides to either floor it or pull a weapon out yourself?
That was during like BLM stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I called him Joe Exotic because he had this ridiculous tiger stripe shirt on. Yeah, absolutely. It factors into that because let's say, I mean, the guy, because there's to reset it, there's a guy going up North Meridian. He's right there about 12th Street, about to get on the internet. And he's just trying to go home, driving a blue pickup. And one of these demonstrators jumps in front of his truck, pulls a gun out, holds the gun at low ready in front of this truck. And the truck just sits there for a bit. At one point, tries to go around the guy just to go around the protesters and get home.
Which is the equivalent of running away if I'm following Minnesota law.
It absolutely is. But the guy runs over and jumps in front of the truck again to block, his ability to get away. And at that point, a lot of people on social media, I talked about this a lot on my radio show. I talked about it with you guys. But a lot of people said at that point, hell, I would just run over this dude. I think he made the prudent decision, which is just, you know what? I want to disengage. I want to get out of here. I want to de-escalate. He turned around and drove south on Meridian Street, which was probably the smart move. But your question is a great one, which what if he made a different decision? What if he just said, you know what, pedal to the metal, run over this dude who's standing in front of my truck with a gun? The good news is if he was justified in doing that because he feared serious bodily injury, because there's a poorly dressed idiot in front of his car with a gun.
Wouldn't you love to see the judge say that? This poorly dressed idiot.
Yeah, right. But if he would have made the decision to run over this dude, and if it was determined that he reasonably feared serious bodily injury is the reason he defended himself with deadly force in the form of a truck hitting this guy, he could not have been otherwise convicted because he failed to run away first. He failed to back up and leave, which he actually did in real life. But under a hypothetical, he could not have been convicted because he didn't choose to turn around and run away. And that's a good law. That's fabulous. And that our Indiana General Assembly, on so many issues associated with 2A rights and with self-defense, our Indiana General Assembly really deserves the credit for that.
Guy Relford joining us here for Monday Gunday. So it sounds like, believe it or not, AOC is making the case for law-abiding gun owners, Guy.
This is the best ever. Yeah. I knew you guys were going to love this, and I'm watching this unfold. But they were having the hearing where they're grilling the head of the Secret Service over the abysmal job they did to protect former President Trump in Pennsylvania when he was subject to an assassination attempt, and AOC of all people, in her cross-examination essentially of the Secret Service chief said, well, hold on, where was your perimeter set up? And they said, X number of yards, but this building where the assassin shot from was only 150 yards away. That was actually outside the Secret Service perimeter that they had set up. And she said, so he had an AR-15, right? And the person says, yes. And she said, so what you're saying is that your perimeter that you established was inside the range of, and well, she also said, what's the standard range of an AR-15? Isn't it like 200 to 600 yards? And the person said, yes. I said, so what you're telling me is that the perimeter you established was dramatically less than the range of the most commonly owned semi-automatic rifle in America. And the person said, well, yes, that's right. Wow. And I heard that question, that terminology, most commonly owned semi-automatic rifle in America. Guess what the standard is the Supreme Court has announced for what weapons, quote unquote, are protected by the Second Amendment in the Heller versus D.C. decision. It's those commonly used by American citizens. So AOC sat there and made the perfect argument for why any assault weapon ban that she's advocated for multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
That her mentor, Kamala is advocating for as we speak, she made the perfect argument unknowingly for why an assault weapon ban, quote unquote, would actually be unconstitutional.
Come back for one more segment?
You betcha, absolutely.
Monday Gunday, I've got a surprise for Guy Relford.
Oh, no, come on.
A surprise is coming up next. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The State Fair is a Hoosier masterpiece, a tradition like no other. And on August 15th, AAA Hoosier Motor Club members get in free. It's AAA Day at the State Fair, August 15th. Members don't pay admission. You just show your AAA card, and you're in for a day of fun. Lots of free concerts on the free stage. And, of course, all the borderline outrageous food options. I can't wait to try this spicy pickle pizza.
An outing to the State Fair is like a mini vacation, with AAA members saving big. And also this month, there are a couple of other special offers when you visit a AAA office. Luggage and accessories are on sale for 50% off. Suitcase, carry-ons, tote bags, and more, all marked down through August 31st. Plus, if you book travel with a AAA agent, you can get a 10% rebate. Visit AAA.com, call 844-GO-AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your Indiana State Fair is here. Join us to celebrate the best of summertime.
Your Indiana State Fair is closed today. All the fair fun returns Tuesday with $2 Tuesday. Presented by Indiana Secretary of State. $2 rides, food, and admission. See you there.
Enjoy the sounds and sights at this year's fair, where there's more to see and do than you ever knew. Celebrate the art and nature of fun. Presented by Newfield, August 2nd through 18th. It's only here, but once a year.
Aren't you worried Max might run off? He's safe. We installed invisible fence. See a special collar? So he can roam freely but won't leave the yard? Exactly. And it was so easy. Invisible fence installed everything and even sent out an expert to train Max. I need invisible fence for Roxy.
Go to invisiblefence.com to get started today, absolutely risk-free. Give your pet freedom and safety. Go to invisiblefence.com right now and schedule your free consultation. Go to invisiblefence.com. That's invisiblefence.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
All right, Matt Bayer, what's going on?
Eastbound 70 stop and go Harding into Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65 slow roll 21st to Meridian Penn. It's a crash north of downtown, Fall Creek Parkway, Delaware Street. And on the northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go Westfield Boulevard past Keystone Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Ben Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now it is 89 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Monday Gunday, Guy Relford joining us in studio. And Guy, I said I've got a surprise for you.
Yep.
It is now live. I've posted about it on our Facebook and Twitter. The Guy Relford t-shirt, now available at the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store.
Come on.
I'm looking at it
What?
right now. This is pretty cool.
What are you talking about?
It's the shirt that says Monday Gunday on the front, shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
And on the back, it's
it's
like
got
a
a back?
jersey, and it says Relford 2A on it.
Get out! That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So we've got it
That is
posted.
so awesome.
Go to our Facebook and Twitter. Guy, I've tagged you on Twitter, at Hammer and Nigel, facebook.com/Hammer and Nigel. or just go to the store.hammerandnigel.com. That's where you can get all of your shirts, the I love or I hate Rob Kendall shirts, the Hammer and Nigel line, and the newly added shall not be infringed 2A Guy Relford t-shirt.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I got to tell you, for anybody who listens to Monday Gunday or the Gunday show on Saturdays, my goal in life right now is to outpace. I mean, look, the Hammer and Nigel trucker hat, that's the coolest thing ever. I mean, I love that thing. Right. So that's got to be the best seller. But my goal in life is for the Monday Gunday shirt to outsell the I hate Rob Kendall shirt. Because that's got to be a challenge. I mean, that's got to be tough. So my number one goal in life right now is make sure this happens. I'm going to talk about it on my show. I'm going to talk about it on social media.
That looks good. I think this is the first shirt that we have. It has something on the back of it.
Right. It's a
like
little bit more expensive, but I thought, man, if anybody deserves to have like the jersey treatment, Relford 2A has to be it.
I'm loving every bit of this, man. I got to tell you, you will see promotion of this through me like you never expected.
Now, I'm realizing that I used the Gun Guy's logo without permission, and he is a lawyer. So after his excitement wears off, I'm waiting for a cease and desist to come down.
Oh, yeah, no, let me make a very public statement. Allison, make sure to, footnote this. No, you guys are, not only are you welcome to do that, I absolutely love the fact you did. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it a lot.
So buy your shirts now if you enjoy the work of Guy Relford. If you want to give him a little hat tip for sticking up for your constitutional rights, buy a shirt right now, store.hammerandnigel.com, and we've got it linked on our Facebook and Twitter.
So cool.
Guy, we've got about a couple of minutes left here.
Yeah.
This story about a church in Kansas that basically doubled their attendance because they did a gun giveaway for some members of their congregation.
This is the coolest thing ever. I mean, the church decided, like a lot of churches have raffles and giveaways and whatnot. And this particular church decided to have a giveaway, gave away like 3 guns. And as part of, a fundraising effort for the church. And what they realized, within a couple of weeks, they doubled the attendance of their church. and first of all, I don't
want to come just for God. I want to come for the guns.
You know what? I mean, I giggled over that when I first saw it, but then it also made me realize another serious topic. And this kind of relates back to what we were talking about stand your ground laws in Indiana. In 2019, we made a very important change in Indiana law, which is there's never been a law that says you can't carry a gun in a church. But there has been a law since I've been alive that says you can't carry a gun on school property, and school property is defined as any property that's co-owned or on the same property with a school. So how many parochial schools are on the same grounds as
Catholic
a church?
Schools, yeah.
All of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And by the way, schools include licensed daycare. So how many churches have a licensed daycare? So there have been thousands and thousands of churches in Indiana where it's historically been illegal to carry a gun there, even though we know churches are targets. I mean, how many mass shootings or attempted mass shootings have we seen in churches?
Right.
I mean, they've happened all over the country. So 2019, the Indiana General Assembly, again, I got to give them credit. And I fought hard for this. I helped write the bill. And we passed a law that said that even though there's a school on the same property, if you otherwise legally possess a firearm, you can carry your firearm in church while you're there for a religious ceremony or worship service. So now you're not prohibited from defending yourself, defending your family against whoever might come in there to hurt you because of the way you worship or for whatever reason here in Indiana. And so that story, I got a chuckle out of it, but it also made me really thankful for a great law we have here in Indiana.
And isn't it wild that stories like that drive certain people nuts?
Oh, yeah.
Like there may or may not be a certain reporter over at Fox 59 who's dubbed you as a scholar. His head would spin around, hearing a story like that.
Oh, yeah, because because they're always out there going, well, wait a minute, we ought to have some law. Because you know what? If I'm a deranged psychopath or I'm a terrorist who's intent on murdering as many people as possible who don't worship the same way I do, if there's just some sign hanging on the door at the church that I won't go in there and murder people, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Where can people find you, hire you, ask you questions, Guy?
Really through the website, man, GuyRelford.com, Relfordlaw.com. Let me rephrase that. Relfordlaw.com. That's the way to do it.
The Gun Guy, buy his shirt right now. Store.hammerandnigel.com. Thanks,
you. Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
To celebrate Team USA going for gold, Xfinity is offering a gold medal deal. Now through August 11th, get our best offer yet with 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one line of unlimited mobile for just $35 a month for a year and a free 5G phone. And the action doesn't stop there. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming by adding the new Xfinity Stream Saver with Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $15 a month. Don't wait. When the Olympic Games end, so does this deal. Go to Xfinity.com/Team USA. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA.
Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply to internet and mobile. Stream Saver price subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Free 5G phone requires eligible trade-in. Select models only.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Save hundreds, even thousands off the sale price on all in-stock Berlin Gardens and Polywood outdoor furniture. All dining sets, all sofas, sectionals, Adirondack chairs, umbrellas, everything must go. Plus, large Big Green Egg demos are $7.95. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Coming up in 2 minutes, there are some chances for severe storms Tuesday. Indiana Task Force 1 is on their way to South Carolina to help out with tropical storm recovery. And the market is in the red. You'll hear what that means for you and business owners in Indiana. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Wall Street in the red. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Dow losing more than 1,000 points at the bell as concerns grow about the economy.
The big driver of this activity we're seeing today is the jobs report from last week. Now, unemployment ticked up to 4.3%, in addition to adding an anemic 114,000 jobs.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady as the NASDAQ and S&P also suffered steep losses. A federal judge says Google is exploiting its search dominance to squash competition. The Supreme Court has declined to halt former President Trump's sentencing for his conviction in state court in New York in his felony hush money charges and a related gag order until after the election. The decision comes in response to a lawsuit by the state of Missouri claiming the case against Trump infringed on the right of voters under the Constitution to hear from Trump as he seeks re-election. More than 25 million Americans, most of them in Florida, now in the path of Tropical Storm Debbie. The main threat forecasters say torrential rains.
The flooding started really yesterday across the Gulf Coast of Florida and will continue over the next few days. The governor says that he has been in touch with the National Guard, who has already stationed more than 3,000 soldiers to be ready to respond to the impacts, as well as more than 17,000 linemen to try to get power back up and running. Right now, we know that power is out for more than 300,000 across the state. The hope is that they won't have to wait days to see the lights come back on after this impactful storm.
Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez in Tallahassee. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has called up 2,000 members of the National Guard in preparation for the storm. Vice President Harris is postponing her scheduled trip to Georgia Thursday due to the storm. Debbie, the fourth named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Storm chances tomorrow. 92 degrees downtown, partly cloudy. It does feel closer to 100 if you're outside. Radar's clear, low temps in the lower 70s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Your Tuesday could include some severe storms, says Earl Breon with the National Weather Service.
Our primary threat with that as of right now, we're really expecting is going to be winds somewhere in that 50 to 60 mile an hour range. So that's really what we're looking for there.
Breon says after Tuesday, you should be in the clear the rest of the week. Temperatures also expected to cool off Wednesday. Those heat indices could be back in the 100s tomorrow. Bad weather's why people from Indiana Task Force 1 are headed to South Carolina to help with Tropical Storm Debbie recovery.
I'm Ryan Hedrick. The Hoosier State is sending more than 40 people from Indiana Task Force 1. The team is made up of specialists from 15 state agencies, and they're taking all of their boats and equipment that handles building collapses. The task force is one of 6 teams from the region headed down to South Carolina. The state's governor declared a state of emergency on Sunday because of flooding potential from Hurricane Debbie. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you've seen the latest jobs reports and that the market is in the red, maybe don't look at your 401k. That's at least the advice from Gary Digg with Inside Indiana Business.
It's top of mind, to be sure. As you look at investment strategy, short and long term, all those types of things.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz Indiana business owners aren't exactly hitting the panic button, but they are definitely keeping tabs on both the job and stock markets. You may remember the pro-Palestine protests on IU's campus last spring.
There was obviously snipers on top of the IMU, which is something that a lot of people saw. It was weird energy. I've never seen that much, negative energy towards student protesters. People are protesting for something peaceful.
Former IU student Yahub Sada talking to Wish TV. 23 protesters were arrested then on Dunn Meadow. Since then, IU was suggested to change protest policy, which they have. Now those protests at Dunn Meadow have to wrap up by 11 at night, and camping is not allowed. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. Here's Matt Baer.
Southbound 69 coming down from Fisher's crash between 96th Street and 82nd Street has the two right lanes are blocked, and traffic right now is stopped back to 96. Looking at eastbound 465 stop and go, Westfield Boulevard past Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic 29th to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slow into downtown from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And southwest side southbound 465 stop and go traffic 70 past Kentucky Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention indie homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. Call Mr. Quick. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIVC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Warm and mostly clear tonight with lows down in the low 70s. Then another miserable day ahead for Tuesday with highs in the low 90s, with feels like temperatures closer to 100. Scattered showers and storms are possible by Tuesday night. On Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Monica Crowley is the former Assistant Secretary to the Treasury, longtime financial commentator on cable news, and the host of the Monica Crowley podcast. Monica, I want to start with something you put on Twitter earlier today. Quote, global financial markets are crashing, the Middle East is about to explode, and we have no president. Sweet dreams.
Oh, boy. Man.
Yeah, hi guys. Great to be with you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I actually, last night I was tossing and turning and I was watching the news, and it was about midnight or a little after midnight, and that's when I posted that tweet, because it was clear that, the Japanese stock market was in meltdown, and I knew that the contagion was going to spread when we woke up this morning to across Western Europe, and then, of course, to the United States, and that is exactly what we have seen. And then you've got the Middle East as a tinderbox, where Iran is prepping a massive assault on Israel. And you've got, another hot war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And here in the United States, you have weaponized government. You have the economy hanging by a thread. It looks like we're now going to head into the Biden-Harris recession. A lot of people believe that we've already been in a recession over the last year. So things are getting a lot worse, and we clearly have nobody in charge. The president of the United States is not running for re-election because he is incapable of doing the job, certainly for another 4 years, but he's incapable of doing it now. He was incapable of doing it 4 years ago, such as it is. And you've got a vice president who is now, without a single vote, going to be the Democrat nominee for president, who is clearly in over her head. So the question begs itself, as we're facing all of these emergencies, who is running the country?
Hey, Monica, go back to the R word for just a second. This is Nigel speaking here. The recession, are we one step closer to recession? Some people already believe, as you said, we are in a recession. Where do you stand on the R word as it is right now, especially with the stock markets and the global sell-off and everything?
Yeah, it looks increasingly likely that we will be in a formal recession. Again, I think if you ask the average American who over the last 3.5 years, certainly since the Biden-Harris inflation began to kick in, and they see the price of groceries, they see the price of gas, they see the price of overall energy to cool or heat their homes. The overall cost of living crisis in this country has been extreme, and it's been ongoing for a number of years since the Democrats slammed into place all of these massive spending bills that sent us into this inflationary spiral. So I think the average American would say, hey, man, we've been in a recession for at least a year, maybe more, at least according to my own lived experience. And the critical thing, guys, is this. I spent 2 years at the Treasury Department and, hip deep in all of the official government data for the time that I was there. What looks like has been happening since Biden-Harris has been in is that the official government agencies have been playing with the data, manipulating the data, whether it's GDP numbers, whether it's the monthly jobs reports. because they will get a relatively positive headline. And then in the weeks and months that follow, they constantly are revising down those numbers. So they have created this impression that the Biden-Harris economy has been better than it has been. It is not. It has been extremely weak, and it's getting weaker. And I think we are very likely in the weeks ahead to slide into a formal recession. And just like with Biden's dementia, they lied about it and told you he was fine until they could no longer lie about it. The same thing with this recession. They have lied to you about it, lied to your face until now, until the moment that they can no longer lie.
Chatting with Monica Crowley, host of the Monica Crowley podcast, longtime financial host on a number of different media outlets. So, Monica, this is the loaded question, right? Whose fault is this? Can you pin this solely on the Biden-Harris administration? Was this something that had been brewing for a long time? Who do we blame for this?
Well, you've got a couple of things going on here. First, today, obviously, we're seeing this market crash. And that, I think, has been stirring for quite a while, creating like this massive bubble, and bubbles burst. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. You also have on a separate track massive expansion of government and government spending, which has been going on for Congresses of both parties and presidents of both parties for a very long time. Now, it's one thing to spend at emergency levels when the country is actually in an emergency, like we were during COVID, where we had to get the American people and America's businesses through the most acute period of that crisis during the shutdown. But the problem is that Biden-Harris came in with a Democrat Congress, and they kept up emergency level spending absent the actual emergency. And so that slid us into this inflationary spiral where, again, you got to choose between groceries or medicine. This is what the average American is facing and has been for the last couple of years. And then on top of that, guys, you got another track, which is the suffocating national debt. We just passed $35 trillion in debt. So now what is happening is that the government is spending more just on interest on the debt every single month, just interest on the debt, than the entire national defense budget. So we cannot go on like this. There's a lot of blame to go around, but the Democrats and certainly Biden-Harris have been spending us into oblivion. The Federal Reserve has been printing money like drunken sailors for a very long time with these artificial, keeping artificially low interest rates for a long time, not allowing the market to kick in with its mechanisms. And so there is a lot of blame to go around. But right now, in this moment, Biden-Harris and the left and the Democrats have accelerated the spending to the point where I think they've added something like $7 or $8 trillion to the national debt just in 3.5 years. Guys, there has never been a country in the history of the world to carry $35 trillion in debt and live to tell the story. So the laws of economics are hard and fast, and they are kicking in right now.
Boy, that was a lot to take in there, Monica. Let's pivot real quick, just like me and you talking here. What does this mean for my 401k? I know you're not I'm not asking you to be my advisor, but people are listening right now, and they've heard a lot about, like, don't check your 401k today. But people are concerned. I dump a lot of money into my 401k with every paycheck. What are you seeing on that front, and what do you maybe tell your friends that text you on the side?
Yeah, I don't want to dispense investment advice. You're a professional or go with your gut. But look, it is a very bloody mess out there today in the stock market, and it will absolutely affect your portfolio and your 401k. And a lot of people are suffering the results of this today. Look, I would say overall, you've got to be very cautious because, as I said, the laws of economics are hard and fast. It's not like dealing with, environmental policy where you can kind of, move things around the margins or fudge it a little bit. The economy is the economy. And what is happening now is we are careening toward the wall. And there are going to have to be some very hard decisions made. So, my recommendation to everybody is, husband your resources as well as you can. And I know it's been very tough under Biden-Harris because real wages have been dramatically down. Real wages were up during President Trump by $6,000 annually, and now under Biden-Harris, they've slid. And so I know making ends meet, when prices are rising and your real wages have been falling, you are being squeezed. And by the way, the people getting hurt the most in this environment are the middle class, the working class, and the poor. Those are the groups that the Democrats are constantly saying that they champion the most, and yet they have gotten screwed over the most by these economic policies. So I would just say be very cautious. Talk to your family members. If you have financial advisors, talk to them, because I think that the roller coaster is only going to get worse and more dramatic. I don't think this is getting better anytime soon, and I don't want to scare anybody, but we all have to deal in reality here. And Biden-Harris are not going to come to your rescue because there's no more money left. So you have to come to your own rescue.
And you're right. We're not trying to scare people, but if you're looking for comfort from the White House, I'm seeing all of the economic advisors under Joe Biden jumping off the Titanic right now.
Yeah, Gene Sperling, who was the top Biden-Harris White House economic advisor, he just quit today. Now they say he's going over the Kamala Harris campaign, but that doesn't reassure anybody. All of these figures have helped to drive this economy, and your savings right off the cliff, and your cost of living just astronomical. So it doesn't matter if he goes from the White House to Kamala Harris's campaign. It doesn't matter. These are all the same operatives damaging the U.S. economy, I argue, on purpose. I think this is a controlled demolition of the country, and the economy is a huge part of it. And it's directly affecting every single American, but most dramatically the groups that I just talked about who can least afford it.
Find her on X, Twitter, at Monica Crowley, and check out the Monica Crowley podcast. Monica, great stuff.
That's
tremendous. Fire as always, and we appreciate your time.
Oh, I appreciate you guys, too. Thank you so much.
Matt Bear standing by in the WIBC Traffic Center.
Northbound 69, stop-and-go traffic after 126th Street up to Brook School Road. And then inbound 69 crash clear between 96 and 82nd south of the interstate at least. And stop-and-go traffic remains 106 down to 465. Inbound 65, stop-and-go from MLK to Meridian Penn. And a crash on the southwest side. This is southbound 465 after I-70, blocking the center lane, causing stop traffic almost to Sam Jones Expressway. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for expert advice. Thousands of in-stock appliance options, fast delivery, and professional installation. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, sunshine, 89 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, if you're often feeling tired, you lack motivation and drive, you've been gaining weight and losing muscle mass at the same time, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait to find out. Here's the key. Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked, and it's just a simple blood test. With their on-site lab, you'll get the results back in about 25 minutes. Like I said, don't wait on this. Schedule something now, lowtcenter.com.
In addition to testosterone, which is the specialty of the Low T Center, they really are your one-stop shop for all things men's health. They can check your blood pressure, screen you for some cancers. You can also get weight loss medications, treatment prescriptions, LGP-1 weight loss medications. Ask the Low T Center about it right now. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Summer's in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
After having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
And right now you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield and recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Jay's Lobster and Fish Market at the Garage Food Hall in downtown Indy Bottle Works District, named one of Indianapolis Monthly's best restaurants. We all know Jay. Jay knows seafood. He's bringing the East Coast back home to Indiana. They specialize in the lobster rolls. But have you tried their incredible crab and shrimp rolls as well? They're unbelievable.
Also, Palavana Cubano, the best Cuban food in Indy. And the Cuban Reuben, it's the GOAT. Palavana Cubano, tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Truck drivers, redefine your work-life balance with a home daily driving job at Midwest Logistics Systems. As an MLS driver, you'll experience the ease of hauling no-touch freight, earning predictable pay, and having a consistent Monday through Friday schedule. Plus, MLS drivers fuel their paychecks with performance and safety-based bonuses and enjoy a benefits package with healthcare, a 401k, paid time off, and more. Stop missing out on valuable time at home. Apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Your Indiana State Fair is closed today, Monday, August 5th. All the Fair Fund returns Tuesday with $2 Tuesday. Presented by Indiana Secretary of State. $2 rides, food, and admission. Get your tickets today at indianastatefair.com. See you there.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Is This Anything brought to you by Tom Roush Lincoln?
Woo!
Get great deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Nige, is this anything? Dramatic 100-meter dash in the Olympics yesterday.
This is crazy. I loved it.
Good old-fashioned photo finish. Noah Lyles became the first American to win this in over 20 years, but at first, it didn't look like he was going to be the winner at all.
Noah Lyles said after he was defeated yesterday in his heat, I won't be underestimating my opponents again, and I feel sorry for my competitors. There's an Olympic gold medal waiting for somebody who wants it the most. This is close. Jamaica's going to do it on debut. They're working on the photo. Noah Lyles is looking anxiously. It's Noah Lyles, and it had to go to a photo finish to decide it.
I told you. Yeah, that was great. I was watching it live as it happened. I haven't been watching a lot of the Olympics. I actually just happen to have it on.
Just in the background.
Just in the background. It's always on in the background of my house, whether I'm doing dishes, laundry, cleaning up, or whatever. And I saw this. I stopped. And just like the announcer, I thought the Jamaican won. Did you? Were you watching that? I think we texted about this, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought the Jamaican guy, I didn't know the rule. I thought any body part across the line.
I did too. It's the torso or something like that, right?
Right. Because the Jamaican guy, he had the lead, but then the American closed in. But the Jamaican had like his face across the line, but not his torso. And it's got to be torso across the line. And what's wild is if you go back to like when Carl Lewis won the 100-meter dash, the time that he had for winning in like 1988 or something, that would have been good for dead last in this race. Like that's how fast this field was.
Wow. I there have been some magnificent stories Simone Biles, the Joker, Novak Djokovic, getting the gold in tennis. I've never seen Joker that emotional over, I believe he's playing Alcaraz, actually, who's beat him several times. Scotty Scheffler in golf. Just some great stories.
How about Lily King from IU?
Oh, of course, yes. How can I forget? Yes.
Represent, baby.
Oh,
Represent the Hoosiers. There you go, Lily King. Kind of her swan song in the Olympics, and she goes out with another gold medal.
But, man, well, I have not, again, it's been on in the background, but yesterday, watching that men's 100 was crazy.
Is this anything? A YouTube prankster named Stanley Chen invited a bunch of other influencers to the opening of a fancy new ramen noodles restaurant in Australia.
There's such thing as fancy ramen?
There's such thing as a group of influencers? Well, both I guess are true. Then he just served instant ramen, like the stuff you would heat up in like boiling water
out of the grocery store,
without telling anybody there, and they all acted like they loved it.
7 days ago, I created a fake 5-star ramen restaurant and called it Nisei Ramen, or translated from Japanese, fake ramen. We took some photos, set up a completely fake website, and made a TikTok about Nisei that went viral. I started only letting in influencers who had over 100,000 followers. How many followers do you have?
I have 240K.
To make it even fancier, we served all of our instant ramen in plant pots and even hired a DJ to play nature noises, but the only thing that really mattered was if people believed it was real. Would you guys come back? Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful.
That's something I don't have a lot of experience with ramen, although my kids love it. Like I couldn't tell you the difference between fancy ramen or the stuff that's dry packaged in Kroger.
You just drop it in the boiling water, and next thing you know, you're done.
Exactly. Apparently, there's some restaurant in Circle Center now that has like a ramen sushi kind of place.
There's another one around the corner over here.
Yeah.
Like if you're walking to a Pacers game or something, you'll see a ramen noodle restaurant over there.
I don't. The times I've had it, I've loved it. My kids love it, and it's cheap, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that just kind of goes to show you too how this kind of food is like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes, I can tell the difference between store-bought freeze-dried ramen and authentic ramen that they charge $30 a bowl for. Give me a break.
Now, maybe there's somebody that feels that way about like tequila, but they know their ramen, right? Because I can tell the difference between crappy tequila and good tequila.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I couldn't tell you what's gourmet ramen and what's not. But my son, my youngest one, if you give him the option of having like St. Elmo, Ruth Chris, like cater some sort of meal for him, or ramen and pizza, he's going ramen and pizza.
Boom. Every time.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The crew from Galaxy Concrete Coatings came out and within a day gave me a brand new garage floor. Unlike anything I'd ever seen, my neighbors were jealous. They were like, man, is that like epoxy? What did they do? No, it's not epoxy. That's the old stuff the other guys use. These new concrete coatings use polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. 4 times stronger, easy to clean, still looks great after a full year of use. Now I need Galaxy Concrete to come down to my basement to put a coating in my furnace room. They do garages, basements, pool decks, any indoor or outdoor concrete. Check out their website, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070. Are you within 5 years of filing for Social Security? Get this, 96% of Americans, 96% forfeit an average of $111,000 in Social Security income, and it's all because, unfortunately, they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy.
So if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery. For some people, filing for Social Security early could result in more net income in retirement. The free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security. Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why you should hydrate. Partly sunny, 91 degrees downtown. The heat index just shy of 100 at the moment. Your radar's clear, 73 your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Moss Roofing, here's what's trending at 431. A little bit of water wouldn't hurt on a day as hot as this one.
Taking a little extra time with stuff, knowing where the cool spots are, making sure you stay hydrated.
Earl Breon with the National Weather Service says heat indices will be around 100 today and tomorrow before temps cool down Wednesday. Severe weather also in play Tuesday night. With stocks tanking and the July jobs report showing an increase in unemployment, Indiana business owners say they're concerned.
And the biggest thing they're worried about is a recession in 2025. I'm Sean Herrick. Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business tells WIBC's Tony Katz.
It's scary territory. And 401ks, I think the best advice is to not look, because there are going to be some ugly numbers on paper, to be sure.
He says Hoosier business owners may have to make some tough decisions in both the short and long term if this trend continues. Sean Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Debbie has been downgraded from a hurricane into a tropical storm, but it's still doing some damage. This woman's roof collapsed in Florida.
We didn't expect it to happen just within a few minutes, and it was a pretty rough, outer bend that hit us.
Florida could wind up with over 30 inches of rain before the week is over. The storm is why Indiana Task Force 1 is headed to South Carolina.
I'm Ryan Hedrick. The Hoosier State is sending more than 40 people from Indiana Task Force 1. The team is made up of specialists from 15 state agencies, and they're taking all of their boats and equipment that handles building collapses. The task force is one of 6 teams from the region headed down to South Carolina. The state's governor declared a state of emergency on Sunday because of flooding potential from Hurricane Debbie. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Mentioned earlier, stocks not doing well. It's been a rough day. The Dow down by more than 1,000 points, closing the day at 38,703. The Nasdaq dipping by 576 to 16,200. The S&P 500 down by 160 points to close the day at 5,186. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:33.
Back to school season arrives in Indiana. It's time to focus on school supplies and those home projects you've been delaying. Don't worry. With Moss Roofing, you're not alone. They're here to help with your roofing and siding, making sure your home is a safe place for math homework each and every day. Choose Moss Roofing to transform your home's exterior with top-notch James Hardy siding, protecting your home from those Indiana storms and enhancing your curb appeal. Their inspections are always free, and they'll even give you a 3D design link so you can visualize the makeover before they even begin. Talk to Moss Roofing today, a second-generation family business based right here in Central Indiana. For a job done right every single time. I love when they do that. MossRoofing.com. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 747-3665 or online at Moss, MOSS, MossRoofing.com.
The traffic at 434. What's going on, Matt Pear?
Harrison, it's on the west side where we have two crashes. One northbound 465 on the exit 2 west of 38th Street. People are still able to make their exits. A little bit tricky. Please be careful. Also, southbound 465 after I-70. That is a crash blocking the center lane, stopping traffic to Sam Jones Expressway. Inbound 65 stop and go 29th on into Meridian Penn. Looking at the northeast side, inbound 69 stop and go 106th Street 282nd. Northbound lanes heading up to Noblesville. Stop and go traffic right now. State Road 37 past 126th Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Warm and mostly clear tonight with lows down in the low 70s. Then another miserable day ahead for Tuesday with highs in the low 90s, but feels like temperatures closer to 100. Scattered showers and storms are possible by Tuesday night. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Welcome, newcomers. This segment is going to begin with the airing of grievances, and Jason Hammer's got a lot of problems with Donald Trump, and now you're going to hear about him.
I hate having to do this, man, but I want to win in November.
It's like your own personal Festivus. The
It
floor
is.
is yours.
Feats of strength are coming up next. But first, I've got a problem with what Donald Trump did in Georgia. So he had a rally over the weekend, and instead of taking all of his time to focus on the many, many, many failures of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, many, many failures of the Democrat Party and the people pretending to be Joe Biden, he went after Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp is the governor of the state of Georgia.
Popular.
And if the name rings a bell, it might be because he had one of the greatest campaign ads of all time the first time that he ran.
I'm Brian Kemp. I'm so conservative. I blow up government spending. I own guns that no one's taking away. My chainsaw's ready to rip up some regulations. I got a big truck just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself. Yep, I just said that.
Two-time defending champion, governor of the state of Georgia. That's Brian Kemp.
Got a big truck just in case I need to round up some criminal illegals. That guy, twice. Yeah, very popular, and Donald Trump is in Georgia attacking him.
Because
I understand. I won't say this. I understand what Donald Trump is doing, but I don't understand why. Like, I don't get Donald Trump. I just, you know what I'm saying? I understand what he's saying. Didn't have his back during the whole 2020 election fiasco.
Didn't have his back during, like, COVID stuff.
Sure.
Because if you remember, Georgia was one of the first states to open up.
Yep.
Now, other states, like South Dakota, didn't really close. But Florida, Georgia, everybody played ball right away and did the lockdowns. Georgia was one of the quick ones to open up. They had bowling alleys. They had haircuts happening. They said, screw it. Well, I guess that rubbed Donald Trump the wrong way because he was getting bad press because of a Republican governor opening up his state. So there's always been some bad blood between Donald Trump and Brian Kemp. This was Donald Trump at his rally over the weekend.
But Kemp doesn't want to end it because he's a bad guy, he's a disloyal guy, and he's a very average governor. Little Brian Kemp. Bad guy. But think of it. I got this guy, just think, and then that's it. I got this guy nominated, I then got him elected. Without me, he doesn't get nominated and he doesn't get elected. He had no chance of winning either one, and all he had to do is sign something where the Senate would like to look at election integrity. This is an honest man. That's an honest man. They were all honest. They were looking at something very legitimate. And this bad guy said, I'm sorry, sir. I can't do it. I called him. And I said, Brian, they're looking at election integrity. Is there anything you can do? I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved in that. I said, but Brian, you don't understand. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved. I've had you up to here, Brian. I've had you up to here.
I get their beef. I do. And if I were Donald Trump, maybe I'd feel a little betrayed by Brian Kemp as well. But the fact of the matter is, you need Georgia to win the election. You've got to win Georgia back. And the polling shows you're doing a pretty good job of it so far. But if you get cute and you get squirrely and you lose Georgia, now you've basically got to run the table in some of these remaining swing states. And I don't want to lose Georgia. I don't want the Democrats to have power in November. So Donald Trump going after a very popular governor amongst his people in the state doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Nigel.
Yeah, and the other thing is, there's other things he could be talking about and concentrating on.
That's
It's
it.
very basic.
Swallow your pride and just rip on Kamala.
Just ignore him. Yeah, right. That's all it is. Doesn't need to be mentioning. Now, he's doing what he does at his rallies, speaking off the top of his head, extemporaneously, and reminding everybody why he doesn't like, again, as you put it, a popular governor in the state of Georgia twice over.
Right. And with the trend of Georgia going more and more blue, I mean, maybe we can talk about pallets full of ballots arriving at certain hours of the nights, but the fact of the matter is they went from a very red state to a blue state. Two radical Democrat senators beating Republicans, but Brian Kemp was still able to win, not once, but twice. He's a popular dude in Georgia. Don't tick off his people that might consider voting for you.
Can you, Allison, on the fly here, I kind of liked Trump's impression of Kemp, and I'm trying to place who he sounds like.
Toward the end?
Yeah, can you?
This is an honest man. That's an honest man. They were all honest. They were looking at something very legitimate. And this bad guy said, I'm sorry, sir. I can't do it.
I got
told
it.
him.
I'm sorry, sir.
You know who that is? That's the security guard in Vacation at Wally World. The moose out front should have told you. That's what I thought it was. He's doing John Candy's character in the movie Vacation.
Play it again.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't do it. I called him. And I said, Brian, they're looking at election integrity. Is there anything you can do? I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved in that. I said, but Brian, you don't understand. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. I'm sorry, sir.
I'm sorry, sir.
I can't get involved.
The
I've
moose
had
out
you up
front
to
should
here,
have told
Brian.
you. That's what it sounds like to me. Nobody informed this office of anything.
I don't know. I had a little like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life
Oh,
there
wow.
for some reason. I'm
Okay.
sorry, sir. I don't want any plastics. I don't want any explosives. I don't want any tape. I don't want any. That's kind of. I don't know. That's what I was going for. I don't know.
Let us know at Hammer and Nigel. What did it remind you of? Allison, hit me with some mood music, please. Debbie does Florida. How about that? Debbie was a Category 1 hurricane. Now it's down to a tropical storm. But I was listening to the news at the top of the hour. Allison and I were having this conversation off air. It's still expected to drop 30 inches of rain in Florida. And that's just a Cat 1. 30 inches of rain is a lot of damn rain. Because you always hear people say, well, it's just a Cat 1. It's just a tropical storm. That's not anything. Well, 30 inches of rain is quite a bit. Like, imagine right now in Indianapolis if 30 inches of rain came down.
One of the things we talked about on Friday was the flash flood warnings that were going on and how on certain parts of 465, Matt Baer came in studio and talked to me and Guy about it when we were at the State Fair. He was in here, and it was crazy. And that I don't know how many inches of rain came down over the Thursday, Friday, but it was nuts.
And it comes down in a hurry.
Close. It wasn't even close to what you're seeing there.
Indiana Task Force 1, those guys are badasses. They're on their way to South Carolina to assist in the flooding. So the eastern coast of the United States now, this hurricane, tropical storm, is going to make its way through Florida, then Georgia. They believe it's going to get back out to the Atlantic waters where it could, in theory, circle back and hit more places on the eastern seaboard. Might even gain a little bit more strength depending on if it gets completely broken up over land or if it stays somewhat together. But Task Force 1 is on the way. They're going to South Carolina to assist in any sort of flooding. Now, if you live somewhere where you're expecting 30 inches of rain or 80 to 90 mile per hour winds, here with a way that you can be safe is the President of the United States.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
There you go.
So absurd.
The best way to not drown, get vaccinated now. Nige, happy National Underwear Day.
I happen to be wearing some today.
Good. Thank
so you
God.
know. Okay.
Thanks to fuller figured models, as they're dubbed as, and celebrities bringing back more fabric to the backside.
Yes.
There's a new panty that's just right for every woman's behind on this National Underwear Day.
Keeping it real. That's what it's all about for ladies these days. And all the ladies lining up for granny panties. Yeah. G-string, you no longer a G thing. Whale tail, you can hit the beach. Brazilian, go on back home. It's time to pull the string out your crack. Because real ladies of today are going old school. Wearing granny panties. Yeah. Because if it's big and round and full of pounds. Ladies, we got your ass covered. Literally. Granny panties. Wherever big booty underwear is sold.
National Underwear Day, Nige, and this brings us to great moments in underwear history. A guy's Uber Eats driver delivered dirty underpants.
I grabbed the food, and right when I got the food, she struck off running. And I was like, that was kind of odd. Who thinks that you're going to get delivered somebody's dirty underwear? It's disgusting, unhelpful, it's potentially deadly.
Great moments in underwear history. There's a new depot opening up in Kentucky that I think warrants your attention.
Hey, ladies, do you need some new underwears? Well, not new, but new to you. Then come to Kentucky John's Underwear Depot. I have a large selection of bras and panties.
Sounds like Biden.
For you to choose from. And I'm conveniently located across the roadside from Shady Acres Mobile Home Park. Private fittings are available too, and I take trades. Oh, and that's for ladies only, because guys wearing women's underwears, that's just weird. So see you soon at Kentucky John's Underwear Depot.
Happy National Underwear Day.
That was the guy that was arrested for stealing a bunch of underwear from that trailer park, I think.
Correct.
Thank you for, but I celebrate it every year.
Doesn't get any better than this, does it, Allison? Dreams come true, don't they?
Every day.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
I remember having such a great experience with Window Nation. I've never had my windows replaced before. They made it such an easy process. Here's what Window Nation customer Andrew had to say. Window Nation was very upfront. No beating around the bush from the start. They provided all the details, including what differentiates Window Nation from other companies. They showed knowledge of the company and products as well as being very personable.
Call Window Nation. Do it today. Don't put it off to tomorrow. Speak with a representative and ask them about this amazing deal. They'll answer any question you have, and they'll make sure you get the most savings. And the deal is buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and no down payment, no interest, no payments for 2 years. Plus, you'll get an additional $250 credit, but you have to call today. 866-90-NATION. At least speak to somebody. Get the ball rolling. Go to windownation.com, but you have to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Business. It's not a 9-to-5 proposition. It's all day and into the night.
It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these businesses is a partner like Comcast Business helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide. All these businesses choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business. From Main Street to Wall Street, our people are powering the businesses that power it all. So when you're ready to unlock what's possible for your business, there's no one better to answer the call. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
At Franciscan Health Indiana Blood and Marrow Transplant Program, we treat you like family. Our cancer specialists provide around-the-clock physician access and deliver groundbreaking treatments to face cancer head-on. With over 25 years of experience treating complex blood cancers, we're a top 100 hospital for bone marrow transplants by CareChex and rank in the top 12 nationwide for allogeneic transplant survivals. Visit franciscanhealth.org to learn more and find hope in our compassionate care.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Get ready for incredible speed and high-octane fun. The Indy Airstrip Attack returns to Marion, Indiana Airport August 9th through 11th. This fast-paced racing event showcases some of the most powerful cars in the world. Presented by Revolution and Shift Sector. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Got a quick couple updates here, Nige. Number one, the merch store, I believe, is back online. You guys crashed it earlier trying to get your Guy Relford shirts, now on sale. Store.hammerandnigel.com. And then we were trying to figure out who Donald Trump sounds like when he was doing his impression of Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp. Friend of the show, Mindy Winkler, says she heard George Bailey, too.
Oh, she agreed with me.
Yes. Also, we've got Cam on Twitter. He sounded like Jim Ignatowski from Taxi. It's a great reference.
Christopher Lloyd's character.
Yes. All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
West Side crash on the exit to 38th Street from northbound 465. That's causing stop-and-go traffic on the right side of the interstate back to 74 Crawfordsville Road. Inbound 65 stop-and-go 29th to Meridian Penn. Slowdown continues in the north split on eastbound 70 out to rural. On the southwest side, southbound 465 slow from an earlier crash. This is Sam Jones Expressway to IS-70. That crash is cleared. And northbound 69 stop-and-go traffic from State Road 37 past 126th Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road or on North Shadeland, online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
91 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
And Hammer, you said Donald Trump's impression of the Georgia governor was
John Candy as the security guard in Vacation.
I said he sounded like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. Can we just play it again real quick? Donald Trump.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved in that. I said, but Brian, you don't understand. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved. I've had you up to here, Brian. I've had you up to here.
Now, you listen to me. I don't want any plastics. I don't want any ground floors. I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? But the Christopher Lloyd reference, you got to be a certain age to understand what that reference. That did sound like Christopher Lloyd.
Taxi you could make a case is the greatest cast ever assembled for a TV show.
Let's see, Danny DeVito,
Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Judd Hirsch, Mary Lou Henner. I mean, that was a squad. I mean, that's a great cast. Oh, Latka, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great cast, but I could definitely hear George Bailey, but I could also hear the moosh out front should have told you.
God, Trump cracks me up. Even when he's pissing me off, he's funny.
Hat tip to friend of the show, Dwight Freeney of the Colts, got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Good for him. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
And he basically said, I'm just going to kind of wing it. Like, he's got some thoughts, but he's not going to know what to feel until he's up there. We don't have time to play the clip, man, but he thanked Colts fans, thanked, all of his teammates, named them off one by one. And, yeah, that's an awesome thing to happen to a good dude. Congratulations to Dwight Freeney. Who do we got up next, Nige?
Mr. John Carney, Breitbart finance and economics editor who can explain things in a way as to what's going on with the markets globally and here on Wall Street. What's going on with your 401k? Is there going to be a recession? That is all coming up next. Mark Dietel is the only real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs, or maybe you want max equity from your house but not sure how. Well, listen to this. After investing in a property in Fountain Square, Sarah ran into some financial trouble and needed to unload the place fast. Mark was able to sell the property within weeks for over list price.
Look, you got a lot of options in the real estate game, but the only expert that we trust and we recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show is Mark Dietel. And the reason we hitch our wagon to Mark Dietel, it's the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is a game changer. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 317-755-4232. Ask about the guarantee. Go to markdietel.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SHOWER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SHOWER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local, dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818.
That's 800-215-6818.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
Coming up in 2 minutes, chances for severe storms tomorrow night. What Indiana Task Force 1 is doing headed to South Carolina. And the last few days of the stock market have not been pretty. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Wall Street deep in the red. I'm Lisa Lacera. The Dow finishing up the day down 1,034 points. The Nasdaq off 576, its worst day since 2022. The S&P minus 150.
Now another area getting clobbered, crypto. Okay, Bitcoin actually fell below 50,000 at one point today. Over 500 billion in value has been wiped out in the space in the last 24 hours. A lot of folks are taking their money out of the riskier assets with this overall volatility. Zooming out, the sell-off isn't just happening in the U.S. The global markets are reeling as well. The Japanese Nikkei closed down over 12%. That's the worst day that it saw since 1987.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady. The U.S. Supreme Court refuses to intervene in former President Trump's New York hush money case.
The High Court denied the state of Missouri's complaint that the gag order imposed in the New York hush money trial prevented that state's voters from hearing the defendant, former President Donald Trump, tell his side. Missouri's Republican Attorney General Andrew Bailey hoped to get the justices to take the case on an emergency basis and made his legal move after the Supreme Court issued its immunity ruling. The former president was found guilty on 34 felony counts, but sentencing has been delayed until September. Former President Trump has filed to have the New York decision overturned.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Meanwhile, former Trump attorney Jenna Ellis will cooperate with Arizona prosecutors in exchange for charges being dropped against her in fake electors case. She had previously pled not guilty to fraud, forgery, and conspiracy charges. Tropical storm Debbie pounding North Florida with heavy rain before it moves east.
Debbie is now moving inland, where officials say it could cause catastrophic flooding in Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia.
Fox's Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's good storm tomorrow. Mostly sunny, 92 degrees downtown. Radar clear. Probably going to stay that way the rest of today. Low of 73 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The next chance for severe weather would be Tuesday night across most of central and northern Indiana. John Havrick reports.
Some of the biggest threats to watch out for with that are wind gusts that could get close to 60 miles an hour and heavy rain at times.
With rain, and especially some of the heavy rain we've had in some areas, the ground gets a little bit loose. It's not beyond the realm of possibility to see some damage associated with that just because of other kind of complicating factors there.
Earl Breon with the National Weather Service says Tuesday will be another humid day, but then it cools down throughout the state starting Wednesday. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
48 members of Indiana Task Force 1 are headed to South Carolina as part of the response to Tropical Storm Debbie. Deployments like this typically last 14 days. Task Force 1, though, says they'll stay for as long as they can be helpful. The decline on the stock market, latest job numbers, may have many businesses in Indiana concerned about a recession.
We've seen major investment from a number of big-name companies in Indiana. How might those decisions, those plans be affected? Too early to tell, certainly now.
Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business told WIBC's Tony Katz many business owners are trying to figure out the best approach for both their long-term and short-term investments. You've heard differing property tax philosophies by now from your elected leaders. Republican State Representative J.D. Prescott tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey a 7% tax on services would be a perfect middle ground.
Local elected officials can change the rates. They can tweak some things to provide relief, but we
give them the overall guidelines. So it is a state plan, or it is a state problem as well. It's something we need to address.
Prescott says his plan would tax the actual service instead of the product, like an oil change. He says that would allow businesses to even collect tax revenue from people who don't live in the state. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Pain from arthritis is just awful. That bone-on-bone pain is constant, and it robs you of so much of the stuff you'd love to do, but there are effective ways to deal with that pain. Tony Katz here. There are exciting new therapies that can get you lasting relief, and the place to go is QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. Talk to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Get your free consultation right now. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and in Carmel. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, Carmel, QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at the crash on the west side. It's from northbound 465 on the top of the exit ramp to West 38th Street. That's causing a backup past Crawfordsville Road. Southwest side, southbound 465 slows from 70 past the White River. On the north side, westbound 465 stop and go 31 past Michigan Road. Eastbound 465 jammed up Westfield Boulevard to the White River. And northbound 69 on the northeast side, stop and go traffic Fishers 116th Street up to 126th. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for expert advice. Thousands of in-stock appliance options, fast delivery, and professional installation. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Warm and mostly clear tonight with lows down in the low 70s. Then another miserable day ahead for Tuesday with highs in the low 90s, but feels like temperatures closer to 100. Scattered showers and storms are possible by Tuesday night. On Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll go straight to the hotline and bring on Breitbart Finance and economics editor John Carney to try to make sense of what's going on in Wall Street. Even a massive global sell-off right now amid some recession fears. John, you're an expert in finance. You're an expert in economics. Is there any way that you can make sense of what's going on right now?
Yeah, I think that the market had assumed that we were kind of going for the best of all worlds, which was that the economy was going to keep growing and the Fed was going to start cutting rates. Last week, we learned that the economy was actually doing a lot worse than anybody thought. We got a jobs number that was much worse than people thought. The unemployment rate ticked up to 4.3%. That triggered something called the SOM rule, which over the last 50 years has usually indicated that you're already in a recession. And that made people wake up and say, okay, things might get pretty dicey here. And so we saw a sell-off in the U.S. on Friday. Then when the markets opened up in Japan, their stock market plunged 12%. And as as dawn crested across the world, as the earth turned, we saw sell-offs everywhere around. It came to New York on Monday morning, and we saw a sell-off here. I think it's a little bit of a overblown panic. I think that people will say, well, okay. It's not all that bad. Yes, the chances of being in a recession have gone up by a lot, but not that much changed between now and a week ago. So I think this is people are going a little bit too far on their fear.
John, Jason Hammer here. So totally loaded question here, but whose fault is this? Is it this current administration? Does this go back to the Trump administration? Everybody's fighting online right now, pointing fingers. What do you think?
I do think that there can be no escape for the Biden-Harris administration. They basically set the economy on fire with their inflationary policies. And frankly, that's a big thing that pumped up growth over the last 2 years was just massive deficit spending by the Biden-Harris administration. That has come down actually a lot because everybody sort of agreed we can't keep spending at that kind of rate that we were. And that's actually when you're propping up the economy with deficit spending and then you try to curtail it, very often you end up, with a fiscal contraction that leads to an economic contraction. I think that's what we're seeing now. And I think actually one of the things that spooked the stock market was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, everybody said Donald Trump is ahead in all the polls. He's going to win. Now they're looking at it and saying, oh, no, but, the polls are coming out and Kamala Harris is ahead. They're afraid we'll get 4 more years of Harris-Biden, and they don't want that. And just frankly, the political uncertainty, we thought we knew where this election was going. Now we have a totally new candidate. And I think that is contributing to the stock market coming down a lot.
Speaking with Breitbart Finance and Economics editor John Carney, he is the author of the Breitbart Business Digest newsletter, which is co-authored weekdays by John and his boss, the editor-in-chief, Alex Marlow. Probably something you want to subscribe to immediately at Breitbart.com with what is going on with the markets this week. So you saw this. Did you see this coming last week, especially when that jobs report hit? I mean, did you say, okay, now next week's going to be very interesting?
I thought that people would wake up and think that the economy is doing a lot worse than it was when, frankly, remember, the labor market was one of the strongest parts of the economy. There are lots of other things that had seemed weak. Last week, when the labor market started to fall apart a little bit, that's really a hinge that things like consumer spending turn on. If people are worried about losing their jobs, then they stop spending. If people lose their jobs, obviously they stop spending because they don't have the money to spend. And so I think that a lot of the economy was depending on the jobs market doing really well. It not doing so well spooked people. The manufacturing sector, which has already been in contraction, according to some measures, for several months. Last week, we got 2 surveys that had been going in kind of different directions. One saying, yeah, it's really bad. The other saying, it's not great, but it's not so bad. Both went in the really bad direction for July, meaning when you have all the indicators telling you one thing, you no longer get to choose your own adventure and pick which one you want. All the indicators last week gave us bad news. So that, I think, was fueling the market. I don't think all the indicators going forward will be bad. We already got some in on Monday morning that said, you know what, the services sector isn't doing as bad as the manufacturing sector. It's actually doing okay. So I don't think that it's going to be all bad news going, from now through the end of the year, through Election Day. We will have ups and downs. But right now, a lot of people had priced out the risk of a downturn are now realizing, no, a downturn is a very serious possibility.
John, what does today mean for 401ks? There's a lot of people listening right now that they have 401ks, but they don't necessarily understand what goes into it, how it works, what's happening with the market right now. Take us through what is going on with 401ks today.
Sure. What I would this is not financial advice for any individual. I don't know you, so I can't tell you what the right thing to do for your portfolio is. But I will say people are best off to ignore extreme movements up or down in the stock market. You are investing for your retirement. What you care about is how the stock market is going to do over the years to come, not over the week to come. So, when I think about my own 401k, I frankly look at things like big sell-offs as an opportunity to buy things I was going to buy anyway for a little bit cheaper. You shouldn't panic. If you need to, do yourself a favor. Go for a long walk. Go for a run. Don't check your portfolio because the worst thing you can do is sell after the market's gone down.
Yeah.
Because then you're selling low, and then you end up having to buy again later when the market went back up, and that's the killer for people's portfolio.
You mentioned the Federal Reserve earlier. How big a role do they play in what's happening? Did they wait too long to cut rates? They haven't cut rates. Should they bail out Wall Street and cut rates? Can you maybe kind of dig in there a little bit and explain what role the Federal Reserve and the rates play here?
Sure. I think the Federal Reserve was right not to cut yet because, frankly, the economy, all the data was showing us that there was no need for a cut. Their inflation is still above the target, so there was not a need for a cut. Now that we have the weak jobs data, there's arguably a good reason to cut. I think the Fed wanted to cut, and so they will cut. I do not think that they will do these emergency cuts that people are talking about where they step in to bail out the stock market. The Fed is not in the business of rescuing the stock market. The Fed, as long as stocks are trading, and particularly as long as the bond market seems to be doing well, which it is, it's doing what it's supposed to. Bonds are supposed to go up in value when stocks go down. They're supposed to be a hedge. That is happening. And so as long as the market is, if it's going down, but going down in a pretty orderly fashion, which we're seeing, the Fed's not going to say, yes, this is an emergency, we need to do something, especially based on just one or two data points from last week. Again, remember, the economy still seems to be growing. It grew in the first quarter. It grew in the second quarter. It's probably going to grow in the third quarter. I can't say that for sure, but it seems like it is. And so I don't think the Fed's going to step in with an emergency cut. What they could do when they have their big shindig, which they have every year in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and they all go and have a big academic conference in one of the most beautiful places in America, they are going to, they can communicate from there that they stand ready to cut a lot and that they are going to, sort of bail out the economy. Very often the Fed doesn't actually have to do the thing to get the markets to start moving based on what they're going to do. All they have to do is tell you they're going to do it, and then stocks start pricing off of that.
And then finally, before we let you go, John Carney, Breitbart Finance and Economics editor, all the other stuff going on in the world with a growing, looks like regional war in the Mideast, like you said earlier in this segment, a positive polling for Kamala Harris. How much do all those things have an effect on the market?
Oh, I think they have a big effect. I think people are worried about a potential broadening conflict in the Middle East, and that is a threat to our economy. That's a threat to economies all over the world. I think that people are worried about the policy risk of having Kamala Harris for 4 more years. If you look at the polls, they show that people expect to be better off if Donald Trump is elected president, and very much fewer say they'll be better off if Kamala is elected. Well, if people have that view, of course the stock market's going to go down if people are expecting Kamala Harris might win or that there's a big risk that she might win, because they say, well, you know what, people are going to be poorer, they'll have less to spend. That's worse for company profits, that's worse for the stock market, and hence you get big dips like today.
Tell me about the Breitbart Business Digest newsletter, John.
Absolutely. Everybody should go to Breitbart.com/newsletters. There'll be a whole bunch of them you can sign up for. They're all terrific. The Breitbart Business Digest comes out every day. It's free. It's in your inbox. And we try to explain not just what happened. You can pick that up anywhere, but why it happened. And even more important, what's going to happen next. We have been right on all the big issues over the last couple of years. People should subscribe to it. And you know what? You can write to me. My email is on the newsletter. And if you have questions, you can write to me and ask. I'm on Twitter at Carney, Carney. I guess it's x.com these days. But look, the newsletter is something we really put our hearts and our minds into. We put it out every day. We have a lot of people tell us they really like it. And I hope that everybody who subscribes will really get a lot of value out of it.
Breitbart.com finance and economics editor John Carney, you are the best. Thank you for hooking up with us last minute, John. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, northbound 65 crash at Meridian Penn, blocking the right lane, causing stop traffic. Back to the north split and through the north split onto westbound 70. Northbound 6570 stop and go from Michigan Street up to the north split. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian Penn. Looking at the north side, westbound 465 stop and go traffic from US 31 past Michigan Road. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
91 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and caller number 9 gets 2 tickets to go see Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Saturday, March 29th, Old National Center. Fun show. Caller number 9, 239-9393.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration. Let's talk about the role structure function care plays in health. And structure function care is what we do at Holistic Integration.
They keep on exploring why is it, even though we spend so much on healthcare, that we have such poor outcomes. Really, the answer to that, in my opinion, is that we actually do have one of the best disease care models in the world. And really where we're lacking it is improving the health of the individuals. And if we implement the structure function care, we would see a dramatic difference in the life expectancy in the United States, and we get more bang for the buck. Most experts who look at the best models for healthcare is 80% of all care should be structure function based, 20% should be disease care. That is really the perfect balance.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Lynn loves summer in Indy, but she hates to paint, so she called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Formulated for our specific climate here in Indy and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We truly believe in this product.
And right now you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers. Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you, premierarms.com.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, the state of Louisiana has become the first state to order surgical castration for those adults convicted of sex assaults against minors. Are you okay with this?
Oh, I love this. Let's start chopping off some crank. Let's start chopping off some beanbag of these perverts.
Is that how it works? They actually physically they use an axe or some side of
scissors, actually. There's a guy over there with a big pair of rusty scissors, actually.
Oh!
So,
wow.
This new law, and again, Louisiana's the first in the nation to do this. It gives the judges the power to punish these sex offenders found guilty of very disgusting offenses against minors. We're talking about the worst of the worst. Children 13 and under. Now, it's going to be up to the discretion of the judge here. And if you're somebody that's 17, this does not apply to you. It's 18 and over.
As adults.
As adults. But yeah, man, I'm here for this. And I'm reading a little bit more about this. If there is a offender that refuses to cooperate with the surgical castration, they pile a bunch of extra years on your prison sentence. So you have the option of keeping your crank, but you would get tacked 5, 10, 15, 20 more years onto your prison sentence.
I would assume the crank is intact. It's the testes that are probably affected. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, but I've read about chemical castration before is maybe kind of the way they go about this.
Is this something I should have on my pay-per-view execution channel? It's not quite an execution, but it's a pervert meeting justice. Is that something that would interest people?
You could probably, ESPN is ESPN Plus?
Yes.
Maybe that could be a new source of revenue for your execution channel. Did you know school teaches a different alphabet song than what we learned, Hammer?
Like a different alphabet song?
Listen to this. I'll explain. The tune is still, it kind of goes to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, right? A, B, C, D, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, right? But the pauses are in different spots because some kids thought Y and Z was like, why? Here, look, I'm just going to play you the new version that schools are teaching kids. Here we go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I never will forget how to say the alphabet.
That's the new way kids are learning the alphabet in schools.
What is this crap? Like, part of learning the alphabet song is running through that whole back end.
Yeah.
LMNOP.
LMNOP.
Like,
Y and
awkward
Z.
pauses all sprinkled throughout it.
Yeah.
And that weird ending. Can you just play the very end? Like, instead of, now I know my ABCs, tell me what you think of me.
Now I never will forget how to say the alphabet.
Now I never will forget that this whole version is a piece of No.
There it is.
Not okay with that at all. Like, of all the things to be fixed in the education system, right? The one thing that we had was at least we knew the alphabet.
All know the alphabet.
But
now they're messing with that.
That wasn't good enough. We've got to do a remix, a mashup of the alphabet. So ridiculous. No, I'm not okay with that at all.
Are you okay with this? Aerosmith forced to cancel their Peace Out final tour due to Steven Tyler's severe vocal cord injury last year. They were going to, go out with a bang. Final tour, blowout tour. It's called the Peace Out Tour. Now they can't even do that because of Steven Tyler, who's in his mid-70s, blew out his vocal cords, and they can't be fixed. Are you okay with the sudden retirement?
I don't like it, but I'm okay with it because I will tip my hat to Steven Tyler. He's not just going out there on the road and lip singing and just trying to do a cash grab tour. If he can't be himself out on the road, he didn't want to have any part of that tour. I can respect that. I mean, these dudes are old. I mean, they're
all in
their
mid-70s.
70s.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to have that recovery like you did when you were a 20, 30, even a 40-year-old man.
And Steven Tyler's famous for his very high register, too. I mean, he sings those notes, those high notes that he sings on some of those songs.
And then he does that scat thing. How does it sound, Nige?
You're going to make me do the Steven Tyler scat. Like, at the end of every song, I feel like he goes...
Yes, sir. Well done.
I think I just blew out my vocal cords
Big
doing
Nige, you could take over. Be you covering Aerosmith songs.
That hurt.
Doing a residency in Vegas.
No. No, thank you.
I'm good with this. I appreciate the honesty from Steven Tyler. And as I've said before, if you've seen him lately, he looks like everybody's cool grandma. You can't go from being a rock god with the most amazing voice, distinctive voice imaginable, to being everybody's cool grandma up there on the stage. It doesn't work that way. All right, coming up next, we've got our pal Mock from the Chicks on the Right program. She's going to weigh in on all things Kamala Harris. We'll talk a little market crash. Mock is coming up next, right after we break down and have a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When it could cool off. 91 degrees, partly sunny over the circle. It feels closer to 96 if you step outside. Low is 73 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. It's been a hot start to the week in Indiana. That changes in a couple days.
Tuesday, our highs are going to be in the low 90s, but on Wednesday, we're looking for highs in the upper 70s to around 80s.
Earl Breon with the National Weather Service says there might be some bad storms at times Tuesday, then skies clear up for the rest of the week. With less jobs being added nationwide and ugly numbers showing up on Wall Street, it's probably best if you don't peek at the 401k at the moment. That's the advice from Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
It's top of mind, to be sure. As you look at investment strategy, short and long term, all those types of things.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz it's not going to change the plans of Hoosier businesses overnight, but it is definitely on their minds. The U.S. still working on a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, according to State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller.
Nothing that's happened over the course of the past week has done anything to erode the fundamental agreement on the framework to this ceasefire.
Egypt and Qatar are also working on a deal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke with Congress last month, and he met with the White House virtually last week. More than 40 Hoosiers are heading south to help out with response efforts for Tropical Storm Debbie. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The men and women are part of an elite unit called Indiana Task Force 1, which was activated on Sunday afternoon and left within 3 hours. The team is headed to South Carolina to prepare for deployment to areas affected by Hurricane Debbie. Debbie hit Florida's Gulf Coast as a Cat 1 hurricane. Indiana Task Force 1 specializes in water rescues and responding to collapsed buildings. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana's current property tax plan should be replaced with a 7% tax on services, says Republican State Rep J.D. Prescott.
Right now, you go get your oil changed. You're paying a sales tax currently on your oil and the filter, but you're not paying it on the labor charge.
Right.
So this would be 7% sales tax on the labor. You go and get a haircut, those types of issues.
Prescott tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey his plan would bring nearly $9 billion in revenue. That's about the same as Indiana's current property tax system. And with traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, crash coming out of the north split on northbound 65 at Meridian Penn. It has two right lanes blocked. Traffic is jammed through the split. Not quite back to Rural Street, but there is a delay on westbound 70, as well as northbound 6570. That stopped traffic, Michigan Street up to the north split. Crash clear on the west side, northbound 465 at West 38th Street, and then on the north side, westbound 465 stop and go traffic, Meridian to Michigan Road, eastbound 465 Stop and Go, Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Warm and mostly clear tonight with lows down in the low 70s. Then another miserable day ahead for Tuesday with highs in the low 90s, but feels like temperatures closer to 100. Scattered showers and storms are possible by Tuesday night. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. That is Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right program. The lovely, the talented, did we mention lovely, Mock is with us. How are you, dear?
I'm well. Keep the compliments coming.
Well, I wanted to butter up you pretty good before I asked how your 401k was looking today.
I refuse to even look. I don't want to know what the market's doing. I'm just trying to pretend. I've got my fingers in my ears. I'm doing the whole la, 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 la. I'm not paying attention.
Now, I haven't heard from Nora O'Donnell at CBS News yet, but I'm willing to bet she's going to say that it's not a crash. It's a mostly peaceful protest of your money.
Well, I mean, the government's famous for taking our money and screwing up things with it, so this should be no surprise to anybody.
So it sounds like Kamala Harris is gaining some momentum in the polls, Mock. I know right now everybody's focused on their money, but if you're looking at election stories for 2024, it sounds like Kamala is gaining a little bit of momentum. How can Donald Trump get it back?
By stopping all the stupid crap that he's doing currently. So I know people get mad at me when I say this, but he always steps on his own units. You know what I mean? This is like Kamala's great at hiding, and that could be like a huge contributor to why she might very well win this election, because she doesn't have a single solitary policy on her website. No one knows what she stands for, what she has stood for. She has flip-flopped on. And so there's all this fantastic opportunity for Trump to talk about policy, to talk about what he did in his first term, what he will do in a second term. And instead, he's questioning whether she's black, and he's criticizing a popular governor in a swing state. So to me, it feels like he almost doesn't want to win at this point. It's infuriating.
The Kemp stuff drives me nuts because it's a self-induced error. Like, I understand why Donald Trump doesn't like Brian Kemp. I get it. There's bad blood right there. But it's going to be really damn hard for him to win this thing if he doesn't have Georgia. If he doesn't have Georgia, that means he's basically got to sweep most of the other key swing states here, and to spend a valuable time ripping on a guy who's popular in that state, Brian Kemp, who's won multiple elections, instead of going after all of the material that's available, ripping on Kamala Harris. It's frustrating. You're right.
Oh, my gosh, it's so frustrating. And it's so, just like you said, these are the kinds of mistakes that Donald Trump is famous for, and it will be these kinds of mistakes that prevent him from winning. He won't be able to rely on, well, the election is rigged or whatever, because he's literally throwing away independent voters. There are people like Daisy has a friend, for example, who absolutely loathes Donald Trump and has been a pretty reliable Democrat voter who called her recently and was talking about how, she's thinking about moving to the light. Like, she's thinking about moving away from Democrats who she knows she can feel, just like we all do, how bad their policies are. So she calls Daisy and she's like, I'm actually thinking about, maybe voting for Trump, even though I can't stand him. And this behavior from him is exactly what will turn a voter like that away. And he needs every last one of them. And so all the people get mad at me on our show when I criticize him for this stuff, because they're like so devoted to him, but they're not the worry. They're not the people that Trump has to worry about. They're in his camp no matter what. And Trump needs to appeal to the middle, to people who don't like him but do like his policies. And for whatever reason, he refuses to do it. And instead, he just keeps on stepping on his own, you-know-what.
He doesn't need to appeal to the extreme right fringes of the Republican Party. And it's the 70 to 80 to 90% of the people in the middle that have no idea how to vote this coming November that he needs to focus on. I will say, circling back around to the economy as well, the economy was doing very well in terms of polling when they thought that Donald Trump was going to be the winner. Now, as Hammer brought up at the beginning of the segment, the polling for Kamala Harris has come back, and look what's happening with the stock market right now.
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's one that I hope, that people will think through and realize for themselves, hey, I wonder if there's a correlation here. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a country filled with morons, and I don't know. I don't know that a lot of her voters are going to make that connection. They're not going to see point A to point B. They're just like, oh, look at her. She's a woman. She's black. I'm going to vote for her, even though I don't know a single thing that she stands for. And the worst part is that no one is holding her to account. Her voters are idiots. They're stupid. They are morons. And that is why they don't care where she stands on anything. They don't care what she has or hasn't accomplished. They're only voting based on identity politics. And it's just sad.
Mark, have you ever seen anything like what the national media is doing to help Kamala Harris now? Like, I get it. About 90% of the national media is in the tank for the left. Some more so than others. I understand that. That's not a big shock. But the way they're carrying this woman's water, trying to say she was never tasked with being in charge at the border. There was no such thing as Bidenomics. No, she's clean. This is unbelievable to me.
It is, but I guess at this point, seeing how much they damaged Trump, in the reverse, it's no surprise. I mean, they are so hungry to keep Democrats in power that they will say and do the wildest stuff, right? Like stuff that we know we're being super gaslit, and they do it anyway, and it works. We saw what her rally looked like in Georgia. As gross as it was with, who was it? Was it Nicki Minaj or whoever?
Megan Thee Stallion, I believe.
Megan Thee Stallion, whatever. Yeah, they're both gross. And so every time we see the massive crowds responding to the fact that it's just like a musical event. Oh, and then there's Kamala as a sideshow. But that's what I'm talking about when I say their voters are morons, because that's all that appeals to them. Oh, is she fun? Does she like cool celebrities? Well, then I'm down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I can't afford gas right now. They don't make that connection. That, to me, that is just the craziest amount of stupidity, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we share the country with people that will vote with her, not knowing jack about what she stands for.
Well, you mix all that in, plus the Trump factor. As long as it's anybody but Donald Trump, you have to add that into the mix as well.
Totally. And now, it's very possible that she'll be able to hide. She's not taking a single question from the media, hasn't answered a single question from a reporter. And now there might not even be a debate where we will see any point with her unscripted. And that is not okay.
And the media, again, because I do think they're a big part of this story, the national media, they're painting Donald Trump out to be the chicken here. He's afraid to debate Kamala, even though it would be on super liberal ABC with that little ankle-biting butt sniffer George Stephanopoulos as the moderator.
That's exactly right. Well, and I think it was Sean Davis from The Federalist who made a really great analogy. He was saying, the rules have changed, and so people saying that Trump is chickening out. Trump never agreed to a debate with Kamala. There's been nothing for him to chicken out of. Biden is the one that pulled out of the debate. And so the analogy is, if you sell your house to a buyer who gives you certain terms, and then all of a sudden that buyer pulls out, the next buyer is not held to those same terms. And that's exactly what's going on here. And if these are the rules the Democrats want to play by, then Kamala already agreed to a debate with JD. She should hold it. Otherwise, she's chicken, right?
Chatting with Mock from the Chicks on the Right program. One more thing here before we let you go, Mock. Listen, we're talking about Kamala. We're talking about Trump. The real reality is we've got multiple months left of whoever's pretending to be Joe Biden. And I got a really bad feeling that anybody that's a bad actor to the United States, they feel like this is their moment, right? Like in the Indy 500, you see the best drivers kind of hold off until that final 20 laps, and then they're in it to win it. They go all out. Yeah. If you're somebody that's a bad actor to the United States, I think you see a change coming in November. So I'm a little leery about what's going to happen between now and January when the inauguration is.
Yeah, I don't think that's an unreasonable take to have because everybody knows. I mean, Biden signals his weakness on the regular, on the daily. There's never a time where he looks strong. And so, yeah, if I were Taiwan right now, I would be sweating bullets. You can already see chaos across the world. We're about to enter into World War III on numerous fronts. And yet Biden can barely be bothered to, wake up at a decent hour in the morning. So, yeah, there's good reason to worry. What are you guys working on at Chicks on the Right? Well, we just passed the 100,000 YouTube follower mark, so we're very, very excited about that. Congratulations. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. We're super appreciative of everybody tuning in to hear us in the mornings, and they can do that on any of our social platforms. And obviously, we're going to be talking about this stuff ad nauseum. It seems like our shows are going long every day now because there is never a shortage of stuff to talk about. Because you are long, you are strong, and you are down to get the friction on. That's what I'm talking about, Mock. Chicks on the Right. Check him out. That is Mock. Mock, awesome stuff as always. We'll talk to you again here in a couple weeks. Thanks, guys. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's that time of year. You're enjoying all of the family vacations, pool days, and cookouts. But don't let your summer fly by without working on your bigger to-do list. Have you ignored your drywall cracks, uneven, sagging, or bouncing floors, stuck windows and doors, bugs and pests, wet basement, heightened indoor allergies, mold and mildew smells? Indiana Foundation Service knows that all of these signs point to major damage building up in your foundation, crawl space, or basement, and it'll only get worse over time. Don't worry. One of Indiana Foundation Service's experts will identify your home's issue at the source. You'll want to get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
Whatever happened to Tony Horton, the guy who created the revolutionary P90X?
2017, I was knocked down. A very rare type of shingles that went straight into my brain. My body was completely wasting away. I started researching everything related to building my muscle back again. That's when I learned about the potential of HMB plus vitamin D3 and what they can do when it comes to helping build new muscle.
So Tony developed high-impact protein by Power Life.
Just add 1 scoop of high-impact protein to a glass of water or your morning smoothie and enjoy the effects of that boss molecule and factory worker combination. Reshaping your body each and every day. More energy, burn more fat, and probably drop a few pounds along the way.
High-impact protein by Power Life is a tasty once-a-day powder that comes in either whey or plant protein. Go to mypowerlife.com and use code TONE to save 30%. Tony even offers a 90-day guarantee. Go to mypowerlife.com or text TONE to 511-511. Text TONE to 511-511 today. All individuals are unique. Your results can and will vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. premierarms.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Save up to 60% on a wide selection of quality mattresses at every price. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all this week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons on Saturday, March 29th at Old National Center.
More info online at WIBC.com.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Crash northbound 65 Meridian Penn blocking the right lane, and we are stopped through the north split. Not quite back to Rural Street on westbound 70, but it is slow back to Rural. Also, Tibbs Avenue closed on the west side. This is south of Washington Street because of an ice truck. It got stuck underneath the bridge. Crash on the west side, Rockville Road at Bridgeport Road, and this has outbound, westbound Rockville Road really backed out from Bridgeport all the way back to Girls School. And then looking at the north side, westbound 465 stop and go after Meridian over to Michigan Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, north of Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
91 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
And thanks to the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, for helping us intro our legal stuff segment. Hammer, a Illinois man arrested after police say he threatened to shoot two Chiefs players during a concert at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City during a Morgan Wallen show. Of course, Travis Kelce and I believe, was it Mahomes? Came out, and at one point there was a threat. They had to wait to start the show 40 minutes because of this death threat.
I'm just shocked that there was police activity involving Morgan Wallen and he didn't end up in handcuffs. Like, that's the shocking part for me. Yeah. Like, there are always going to be lunatics, right? People who don't like the Chiefs or people who don't like Taylor Swift for whatever reason. Maybe they're jealous of Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes. These types of lunatics need to be locked up. I agree with that.
And the funny part is the guy that was arrested, Aaron Brown, said to police, quote, "This was a stupid mistake."
Yeah.
Again,
you got that right, Aaron.
He went online and threatened to shoot two Chiefs players that were going to be at that concert. And by the way, Morgan Wallen walked out, and the crowd went nuts. Who's the Kickers jersey that got in all that controversy?
Buckner. Harrison Buckner.
Well, yeah, he went to some Catholic university and said women...
It's okay if you want to just have children. It's okay if you just want to get married.
Home.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's right. And people hate that guy for some reason on the left, and Morgan Wallen came out in his jersey, and the place just erupted.
Good for him, man. Good for him. And again, he was speaking to a Catholic crowd, people who believe in those values. Nobody gives a damn if Sarah Spain of ESPN is offended. Go to hell.
Real quick here, Kanye West has name-dropped Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on Vultures 2.
Is that like his new album?
I guess. In a track titled Lifestyle featuring Lil Wayne and Ty Dolla $ign.
You've never sounded more white in your entire life.
Wait until I recite the lyrics.
Oh, please.
Lil Wayne actually rapping these lyrics on the Kanye West album here. Codeine and cocaine, that's Lisa Turtle when it's Kelly, ice up in my veins. Old flames trying to melt me. I twist my Taylor spliffs tight at the end like Travis Kelce.
And this has been a white man reciting rap lyrics from Kanye West. I think I know what we're going to do at a night with WIBC this year. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Terry Stacy here. Honey Baked Ham isn't just for the holidays. Stop in for lunch and choose from handcrafted sandwiches, salads, soups, and more. Or take home a heat and serve family meal that comes with a home-style main dish, sides, and rolls. Perfect for busy weekend nights and better than fast food. Have a special event this summer? Let Honey Baked cater with sandwich trays or a VIP buffet with all the extras. Honey Baked on West 96th Street in Indy or Greyhound Pass in Carmel makes it easy to serve something special any day of the year.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Aren't you worried Max might run off? He's safe. We installed invisible fence. See a special collar? So he can roam freely but won't leave the yard? Exactly. And it was so easy. Invisible fence installed everything and even sent out an expert to train Max. I need invisible fence for Roxy.
Go to invisiblefence.com to get started today, absolutely risk-free. Give your pet freedom and safety. Go to invisiblefence.com right now and schedule your free consultation. Go to invisiblefence.com. That's invisiblefence.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
3 reasons I ditched my old school deodorant and made the switch to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. First, Lumi is crazy effective. It controls odor in a new way and keeps me fresher longer. Second, it's a whole body deodorant that works on every nook and cranny. You know, the ones we all have. My pits, underboob, thigh folds, behind, and even feet. Use it anywhere. Third, Lumi was created by an OBGYN. I don't know about you, but knowing Lumi was formulated by an OBGYN who knows all about safety below the